Hey, welcome back, friends, to Watch Closely. It's a weekly show where we take a closer look at the world of movies, television, and what's streaming. I am one of your hosts, Jason. And joining me as always is a man who knows that if he got any hotter, he'd be approaching supernova. Ernie, how you doing? Oh, you're muted, bro. You're muted.
What a fail. Hello. I'm doing wonderful, dude. Thank you for the introduction. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Good.
Sorry for the little hiccup, guys. Thank you guys for joining us. Those of you who are watching live, we appreciate it. We do live every Thursday now. We're supposed to start at 9:30
every Thursday at random odd numbers.
It's late at night. It seems like we're gonna do like the late night podcast.
I don't know. It's fine. Like, so we got our first person here, a nifty Fact
Nuggets. Hey, what's up? Nifty Fat Nuggets.
That sounds sweet.
That's sweet.
Sweet name.
Yeah. So,
dude, how are you?
How have you been? I was gonna say, how are you? I'm doing good.
You're good. I'm doing well. I'm doing really well, dude. I've been chilling pretty hard. It's been my spring break, so I've been doing nothing but like gaming. And the other day, I was talking to my wife, and she's like. She had said, she's like, I told her, I'm like, man, I have not been productive all this week. And she's like, oh yeah, I noticed that. And I'm like, why? How did you notice? Yeah, and then it's because I'm not stressed out. Like, I'm not like, because I still have school, but because I've been off the week, I've just been doing nothing but gaming. Like, so I still do my chores, everything that needs to be done at the house. But because I'm not like, really
stuff's
worried.
Gotta happen.
She thinks that I'm like not doing anything, I think. But I mean,
it's
pretty
true.
Chilling, bro.
I remember there was a time when I wasn't doing a 9-to-5 job and I was trying to do just freelance, just solo work. And it's so weird because you have this insane amount of like free time and like you could just do whatever you want, but it's up to you to like get stuff done. And it's just a strange world when you aren't doing a 9-to-5 or you aren't like on a schedule, it's like, oh, I can walk to the coffee shop and no one can stop me. It's like, it's weird, but yeah. Soon I would like to get back to that time, but I'm enjoying my 9-to-5 right now, but
I kind of want a 9-to-5. I kind of want to be able to like work all day and then just kind of come home and that's it. You're done for the day. I want that. Like, I feel like right now I'm like kind of in that, like in this weird limbo of like going to school and working like part-time. So it's just like,
it's
either I make,
back and forth.
Yeah, it's back and forth, but it's like either I make more money or I like, just am chilling a lot of the time because I'm at home or doing school stuff. So it kind of sucks. There's like not a really great balance right now, but I'm looking for another job, dude. It's tough out there, dude, with school and all that.
You gotta pay for that A-list, bro.
Dude, I know, dude. I want A-list to pay for me. What do you think about that? Like, eventually, front of the cast, what's her name? Oh, my gosh. What's the lady?
Cast, what's her name?
Oh, my God. The lady
Don't
that does the...
It's Penelope.
Not Penelope Cruz. We're talking about freaking Nicole Kidman. Jeez,
yes.
Louise. I don't know why I could not think of that name. We saw her last night, didn't we?
At the theater, yeah.
Yeah, we saw her there. She was there. And she was having a bucket of popcorn, and her drink, for whatever reason, was all over the place, and then it was gone.
That's right. We were walking on our way to the Dolby because we were gonna watch Godzilla X Kong, and we walked by Theater 6, and she was sitting there by herself talking to the screen. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, all I heard was magic, and I was like, "Whoa, hey!"
She's like, "That's magic."
Nicole, friend of the cast. I told her, I went, "Hello," and then she's like, "Hey, I need this room to myself," she said. And I was like, all right, no worries. So we went to another theater. But yeah, dude, once
Can we talk about that for just 1 second before we move on, though?
Go ahead.
We made this big ordeal that she was going to do a new set of these AMC commercials because we love the first one, right? We come to this place for magic. It's like, it's so iconic, right? And so the new, like, we got word that she's going to do a new series of them. I was super excited. And then honestly, we were talking about it. Like, the only thing she did was she went back and she said, "Now that's magic." Like, the only thing that she changed. The rest of it is still the same. It's like she just put on that suit for one little thing, and they're like, "Okay, we're good, Nicole, you're good."
You know what's crazy, Jace, is I'm still waiting for more. Is that bad?
That's what I want.
Am
I want a brand new one. Yeah, that's.
Am I like? Is something wrong with me for waiting? Like, I know we're getting this, just like it's magic or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's fine, whatever. but like some part of me is like still like waiting for the new one. Like it's gonna come eventually, is what I'm anticipating, and maybe I shouldn't be.
I hope so.
Because maybe they aren't doing anything, but I'm like, there's a part of me that is like, okay, let's maybe the next movie I go watch, it's gonna be the newest one, or something. She's probably gonna say something else, something sweet. But yeah, no, we keep getting the same darn footage. So,
but I gotta say though, it doesn't matter what time you go watch a movie. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be in New York, you could be in Dallas, you could be anywhere. You're gonna get people that clap at that intro. Like every now and then you get someone's like, we come to this place for magic. Like it's a thing. Like everybody loves that opening for AMC, and she knows it's iconic. I hope she comes up with a new one. Maybe she was scared
because I love it. What?
Maybe she was scared of changing it and then not living up to the hype of this one, and she's just like, let's just add a little.
There's a possibility, but I honestly think they're waiting for something new to pop out, like something having to do with streaming or having to do with whatever the new cinema sort of thing is going to be, and then she'll do something with that.
Like it gets bought by Amazon.
Yeah, like so I don't know. We never know, but there's this one particular video, and I want to say I think it's Dolby. Elon Musk. What's the guy's name? Oh my gosh, not Elon Musk, the Amazon guy. I forgot his name right now.
I was gonna say Bryan Cranston. What was I gonna say? What's his name? Bill Paxton. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Whatever. It doesn't even matter. The joke's over. But what's another? What's another?
Bezos. It's Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos. Yeah. Because remember the TikTok song, something like Jeff Bezos or something like that.
Oh, right.
It was from 1999. I don't know what he says.
Yeah.
Whatever. But you know what video I really like in the movie theaters that I look forward to? Me and my wife particularly do. It's the one with, I think it's Dolby, when it's like it says the deeper blacks or blacker blacks or whatever.
Oh yeah,
right?
The Dolby Cinema. Yeah.
And then like I always talk about this, but he has the fire and he goes or whatever, and he goes and it's like and then the wave
and the wave in my chair always shakes. And I'm like, exaggerated,
dude. It's you gotta. But I love that particular video. I don't know why. It's like one of my favorite ads.
I always say though that it's just the saturation, because I feel like the projector has been on for so long now that you don't really notice, and usually the lights are on for some reason at our theater. Like the lights are always on until the very last minute, so you can't really tell the difference between the two. But they're always like slicing it down the middle. It's like you can clearly tell these are blacker blacks. I'm like, can you? Can you though?
That let's talk about the lighting, dude. That's always bothered me, and I think I'm so glad that your wife had said something, and you had said that as well, and I was like, yeah, same. I always think the same thing. I actually got up out of my chair once to go tell them, hey, the lights are still on, and the movie wasn't on yet. It was like trailers, but I'm like, turn off the dang lights. Like if these people are coming late, let them stumble. You know what I mean? Like
let them fall all over the place.
Let them find their way, because like, yeah, bro, it's like I'm missing like 30-minute trailers, great trailers or something cool, and the deeper blacks and the guy going and like because of the lighting, it's like I don't get to see the
well, okay, our particular theater though, the cinema, the Dolby especially, like the lights are not programmed anymore because something broke, right? Like I was there, like it could have been the day it
some
broke.
Say you broke it.
Some say I could have broke it, but I had to go up to the back, and it was funny, like the movie just started playing and the lights were on, and so people were like sitting there. I was like, I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna go fix this. Like I'm gonna solve it, because I'm like,
what did they tell you?
And the guy had to go up. So the lights in the back of the theater, like where you go in, there's like a light switch with like a key on it, whatever. And that was broken. So he had to literally go up to the booth where the projector is and turn the lights off. And so I guess maybe now they have to do that every time or something. I'm not sure. Because it always is like the very end of the trailers, and like the movie's about to start and then it just turns off. It's like, that's weird.
They're like, oh my gosh, I gotta go turn off the lights.
Yeah, they're like on a timer, like, Jimmy, go flip the lights. And it's like, okay, get it.
You know, yeah. I last time I went to the theater, this is a random thing. I was that guy, not for the lighting, but not for the lights, but the movie wouldn't start or something had just wasn't working, so we were all in a black room. And I'm like, maybe I should go say something. So I went to go say something. And in my frickin' and Ernie's fashion, you know how I am, dude. I like the attention. I was like, hey, just to let you all know, the movie's not going to be working. We got to go to the front, and we're going to get free tickets.
Did you really?
I swear to you, you could ask my wife. I'm just, you know how I am. and saw it like so loud.
I can imagine this. This is awesome.
Yeah, dude. And I did. I was like, in an orderly fashion, we go this way. You know what
Single
I mean?
file now. Single file. Go down. Oh, that's awesome, bro. I had no idea that. Wow, that's crazy. That's
Dude,
better than my last movie experience.
Dude, I'm watched closely everywhere I go, dude. Think about that.
You're always a man of the people. You know, you're always watching out for the people.
The people's champ, they call me. No, I'm just kidding. That's The Rock.
Can I say though that the theater experience has been getting worse, like progressively worse? I feel like something happened in COVID, and now nobody has any respect for the. I don't know. Maybe we went to go watch 2 movies this week. We watched Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire, and then with you we saw Godzilla X Kong, the New Eight or the New Empire. 2 empires, right? Frozen Empire and New Empire. Is it Frozen Age? I don't know. I don't know anymore. But we went to go watch Ghostbusters, and it was one of those theaters that's more like the seats are not so stadium. They're like more like straight across. It's like an older theater where it's almost like you're sitting on recliner chairs in the middle of a room, like somebody's house. I mean, sounds really sounds ghetto, but it was a real theater.
It sounds like you're at your house, dude.
There are some older theaters that they don't recline as much. Like they don't slope. You know what I mean? The seats aren't staggered as much, and they're more flat. And it just goes.
No recliner. Where are you living in the dark ages? I'm just kidding. God.
Where we saw Migration, right? They're very flat. Like the seats are very
flat. Yeah. I do remember. Yeah.
So it was like one of those setups, and I swear the people behind us, I don't know what it is. These kids had a vendetta of whoever's in front. They were going to mess with them. So like every couple of minutes, this kid would just go like a little fart noise, and then all the kids next to would chuckle, be like, ah! I was like, okay, it's a couple times, it's fine. This happened literally
and you
like
just
every couple
him,
minutes, and I got so progressively angry, and I leaned over to my wife. I was like, you think they're going to do this the whole movie? And I can hear them. They're like right behind us.
I hope so.
Right? I'm like, why? And my wife was like, I don't know. She didn't notice it at first, but then the more we started, you start focusing in on it because now it's like in your peripheral, and they just kept going and like like laughing, and then I literally turned around with my flashlight, dude, and I shone it at them. I was like, hey, go over there, like go in the back if you're gonna do that. And I was trying not to swear. I was trying not to like be curse or anything. But my wife literally started she started recording on her camera, and she was just sat there. She's like, you guys want to be the spotlight? Let's go. Like she just sat there, and the kids didn't know what to do, and they got like all embarrassed and whatnot. And
oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys did that, dude.
I was so mad. And
I know, but I mean, dang, that's wild.
I don't know what to do in those situations. It's hard.
Yeah, it is tough. I think I've only had I'm not a big situation guy, but I've only, I think, once seen you deal with a situation where we volunteered you to do it, where someone cut in front of us, and then you're like, hey, man, you got to go to the back. And you told him, because you're a tall dude. Like, he's just like, oh, yeah, sure. And then he left.
I should have stood up. Yeah, I should have stood up.
You should have stood up. And he'd be like, oh. No, but, like, dude, that is wild. The thing of, okay, friend of the cast, Alex, I don't see her usually being like a confrontational person. She's really nice, really great person, but
yeah,
I've never seen her do something like that. So you telling me kind of shocks me, like that she was like
I was a little shocked too because
you're like, wait, I wasn't gonna do that. You're all telling her.
I know she was like, I'm just gonna start recording them, and like she's like, you guys want to be the center of attention. It's like, okay,
here's TikTok.
We'll just sit here. Yeah, we'll just sit here and like let you do your thing. And I was like, oh my gosh. And like the funny thing is, they left. I couldn't tell if they were sitting with because they were too young to be. They were like, I don't know, 5th and 6th graders maybe. They're too young to be like come with like in a car, like drive there by themselves. So I thought maybe their parents were sitting next to them. I was like, why? How in the world would they let that happen? Like the parents, I'm sure it was being ruined too if they're sitting next to them. But they ended up leaving, and then I think what happened was they were like, we're going to get them back even harder. And so they went and bought a bunch of like chip bags, like plastic bags. And then they sat back down and they started like crunching them really loud, like in front of us or like by our ears. Like, oh my gosh, like these kids, like it just became like this war. And
holy cow, bro. That's I mean,
eventually
wild.
we just ignored them. Like eventually we're just like, this is dumb. We were going to move up to the seats, but the movie was almost over by then. But then we got up and they kind of like, they're hanging out by the back of the theater.
It sounds like they're gonna beat you up.
No, they had to throw in one more like, and then they ran away. I was like, oh my gosh, these guys had nothing better to do than to piss us off.
I'm so glad this happened to you, and not because
this should be like
not because I want you to suffer, but it's just because you get to share this story.
It's like the premise of a movie, right? Like it should be like Theater Wars or something like. But I couldn't believe. I was gonna chase them into the bathroom because they ran into the bathroom.
Hey, well, I would
they would have been cornered, and I would have. But I was like, whatever.
That's I would advise. No,
my wife when we left because she saw them, and as we were leaving, she's like, "You ruined the movie." Oh, she didn't say it that nicely, but she's like, "You ruined the movie." And but I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Wow. So the theater experience, it's getting a little more intense these days.
I mean, I don't want to ask exactly where you were, but I'm assuming this is not your usual stomping ground for a movie theater.
Well, I mean, you also got to think like the theater. The theater was not the premium seats like I was saying.
It wasn't the
It wasn't like somebody's backyard though. It was like it's legit theater. But yeah, it was just a crazy dude. I couldn't believe like how much back and forth. Like I was me like when the stakes get a little like like people start upping the stakes. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna throw my popcorn at them. I'm gonna throw my drink at them. Like I don't know. I was like, nah, I shouldn't. But
that's so awesome.
They're just like those kids that are like
TikTok kids. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I should. I like my wife's tactic though of like recording. I was like, ooh, that's a good. Like just
that's like such a thing everyone does.
Yeah.
You should have put them on the watch closely live stream. Be like, oh hey, these kids like to ruin movies.
If she had footage, we could have shown it on the podcast.
You don't want to do that. It just that just.
Then they're going to show us on their podcast.
On their podcast, I know they have one too. No, theirs is about just ruining people's movie experiences. No. I mean, I get it. They're dumb kids, and like we were dumb kids at some point. But I think it's difficult to say like, oh, let's like put them on blast on the internet because like you could essentially ruin their life. Like we always have to think about that. Like people like to record people and put them on the spot and making them feel bad. They're just dumb kids. You know how many dumb things I did when I was a kid? I get it. They ruined the experience and they shouldn't have. They're little bastards about it. And I hate that. Like it bothers me to my core because you have A-list, but either way, you paid for this experience.
Right. And the people around that paid full money. Yeah.
Yeah. These little kids, exactly. These little kids didn't really pay for this. So they probably got paid by their parents, which is their money, whatever. Honestly, the best tactic I would advise you guys to do is tell one of the workers, get them out of there. Right.
Yeah,
there's nothing really you can do. I mean, just going into war. There's it reminds me of a clip of, or not a clip, but a scene in Seinfeld. I don't know if you ever seen it, but they're at the theater and he talks about his experience and I gave him the stare. Like like this, like because
that really would not have worked in the situation.
It wouldn't have worked, but it's just kids are dumb kids. Some kids are.
And I can remember like when I was a kid, right? Like I remember going like with a group of like all my friends, and we'd go and we like of course you're gonna talk and you're gonna giggle, but you're having a good time about it, and you're not doing it with the intention of like ruining the people around you. It's just like you're having fun, like you're in the moment, right? And I was trying to give them a benefit of the doubt, but when they started like actively trying to like get us, I was like, oh man, my movie blood is boiling because I wanted to see what happened.
They must have like out of like everyone, they must have been like, man, we're gonna get this guy. You know what I mean? Like this is the guy, and you're over here all eating a sweet like your churros with a little bit of cream or something.
Oh no, it wasn't churros. I wish that would have made up for it. No, it was just. I mean, luckily the movie was not super interesting. Like the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire was like enough that I was distracted. Like okay, I could like mess with them and I didn't really care. But there was like some moments I was kind of like, I want to see this, you know?
Well, this isn't a testament to the movie, right? If the kids just felt that they needed to bother you rather than to watch the movie was probably not that great, huh?
Right. Yeah, that's true. Right? That's what I was thinking.
Bill Murray coming back wasn't enough. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Did you end up watching it or no?
No, I didn't. I don't think I'm going to. Not anytime soon.
Yeah, it's okay. Like it's. I think it could have done a lot better. I was hoping for a lot more.
I'm sorry. I just keep replaying the kids. They're wild. They're
They're
wild for
wild.
what they've done. You should have just like acted crazy, like scared, like put the fear of God in
Dude,
them.
so many like options
But
were coming through
also,
my head, but
but
also it's like, nah, I shouldn't.
yeah, it's like it'll either end really bad for you or end really good where they leave. But it's just it doesn't like.
I know, like friend of the cast Lex, like he's run into like some crazy experiences too.
Oh
At the
yeah,
theater.
man. He used to
And
have that segment, right? It was called Theater Experience because for whatever reason, that guy, I don't know where he goes, that he always has a story. Maybe
yeah,
he's just a
something
story
follows
guy
him.
though. He's guilty with the stories, but like he always has something happen to him. Like I forget what he was telling me recently that someone was singing. They want to go see it. I don't know what movie this was probably a while ago, but he said someone was singing a song. He might have said it on the cast. Someone was singing one of the songs in the movie. I forget, but he was
Like
telling
just
the story.
singing one of the like the background songs.
Yeah,
Or
I'd
like
have to ask him again because it's his story. But yeah, man, me and my wife go to the movie theater like really late, like at 9. So there's really not a lot of kids for the most
that's
part
true.
for us. So we don't really get that kind of thing. But don't get me wrong, like we've had like people open up a can of freaking whoop ass like beer and stuff. Like we've had like just people do that. But other than that, like never really anything crazy.
Yeah, I've
Knock
heard
on
of
wood.
people like that are really passionate about watching movies. Like they will get up and they will cause a scene, and I've never
because
been
they're
witness
pissed.
to that.
I
But
want to be a witness to that.
you're like, okay, I was this close. I was this close. I don't know, bro. It was just strange because part of me was like, I want to teach him a lesson. Part of me was kind of like, I want to just let it go. Like I kept going back and forth of like, oh, I'm gonna get him. I was like, I shouldn't.
You should have just had front of the cast Alex, dude. Just freaking.
She was
go
ready
haywire.
to go, bro. She was ready.
I know. I'm so glad. I'm happy.
She
That
was
makes
all
me
hyped
really
up.
happy because she's awesome.
was
I want to
funny.
tell you this one story because this is random. The craziest thing that I could think of that has happened to me in the theater that we still talk about till this day is after a movie we got off like 12 midnight, 1 in the morning, something crazy like that because for however how long the movie was, we got out. We were going to our car, and my wife and I get in the car. This random like dude comes out of nowhere, and he freaking just comes next to our car in our parking lot.
Oh wow!
And he goes, hey, he's like out the window, kind of like wanting to talk to us. My wife and I'm all, Diane, put the window down slightly. Don't open the door. I was about to get out of my car. I had my
I was on her
brother-in-law.
side. Oh,
Yeah, it was on her side. So me and my brother-in-law were there. We were about to get out of the car because we're like, he's gonna try to
beat him up.
do something, right? And so he goes, hey, I'm a foreign student or something like that from Japan, or I don't know. I don't have any money. Can you give me some money or something? I don't know. It was just random. And I'm like, and I told him, you know what, dude, we don't have anything for you. Like, when we didn't. Like, all we have is like digital currency. Like, I don't carry cash,
anymore,
right?
And
so
he's
I'm like, dude,
I got a stripe card.
he's all, don't worry, Venmo me. No,
Yeah.
I was like, dude, we don't have anything. I'm get away from us,
Dude. It's another one of those LA guys.
because I feel bad because also like he's scaring my wife first
Right.
of all, and he shouldn't be too close to our car. No one does that. I get it, me foreign, whatever, Japanese dude, whatever. He's a young kid, but I didn't like it, and so I'm like, get out of here. And he's like, oh, so you don't care? And I was like, no. Get out of here, dude. We're about to get out of the car because I was like, dude, get away. And all of a sudden, bro, he just like, dude, the way he showed up out of nowhere is the way he disappeared. Like, I didn't know where he went.
Oh wow!
Like, it was like, I think he was a ghost. He was like a dead kid from the freaking from the movie theater. I don't know, but like that was like one of the worst moments. It's not worse, but like a trippy moment in my theater experience. I didn't like that. You don't get close to people's car, bro. You don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're like on your way out and like, I don't know, unless she dropped something and he was trying to give it back to her or something, like that's understandable. But just to like especially late at night and it's like middle of the parking lot,
you don't.
that's weird, bro.
You don't do that. Yeah, it's like really, really odd. Like,
yeah, gas station maybe. I've seen
not
that
even a
happen
gas station, bro. Well, it depends. I was talking to my. Sorry, this is a random rant, ladies and gentlemen.
I gotta tell you
Watch
something
Closely
after
podcast. We are the Watch Closely podcast. We talk movies, television, and all streaming, right? But I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he asked me, he's like, "Do you let your wife go put gas by herself at night?" And I was like, "No. Like, if she wants to go put gas, she comes, gets me, and I go with her. And it isn't because I'm like trying to be a man. I'm like but like I don't trust people in the middle of the night, dude. There's some crazy dudes out there, or crazy people. Could be, you know what I mean? So I always like, you know.
You know what's funny
whatever.
is so yesterday we went to go see Godzilla X Kong, and my wife was like, "You guys can just go by yourselves if you want," and and like, cause she was like, "Oh, I'll just hang out with the dogs, you know, I'll just catch up on Kardashians or whatnot." And I was like, "Oh, like I want you to go," and like. But I secretly I was like, I don't want to go by myself in the middle of the night. Like I was the one that needed protecting.
And now she's gonna pull out the phone and record, dude.
I know. Dude. Oh man.
No, dude,
but it's true. Like sometimes you're like when you're by yourself, you're just kind of like, I could get jumped. Like I don't want to.
Yeah,
get jumped.
You're a little more weary of your surroundings.
Can I tell you one more parking lot story before we move on? Like this has nothing to do. I apologize, guys. This has nothing to do with movies, but
it does.
Well, kind of, because we're talking about the crow, right? And when we got to talking about crows and how crows remember faces, it's like a thing, right? Like crows remember faces and like they remember you for life. Or like I've seen like TikToks about this, right? Like you can make friends with crows. So anyway, I was in the parking lot of Jack in the Box, dude. I just gotten food. And I was sitting there. I had to eat my food before I went to my next whatever it was. Like, so I was just like eating and there's a crow in the middle of the parking lot. He was hanging out. First I saw him. He was pecking on like a door of one of like the buildings, like a business building. And I was like, oh, he's probably like hungry. And so he was like in the middle of the parking lot, and I just took a French fry. I rolled the side window down and I threw it just for fun. Like I was like, I'll give him a fry, you know, because I was like. Maybe he'll remember my face.
And he followed you home.
No. What happened was he crept up to like he was like not sure about this, right? So he kind of like I saw him kind of like hop along, and he got a little closer, and then grabbed the fry and he flew away, right? I was like, oh, okay, that's the end of it. So I finished my meal and I was driving out the parking lot, and like as I'm driving, I see the crow come back, and he's gonna like land in front of the car. Like he wanted another fry. I was like, shoot, I gotta go, bro. I'm sorry. But I was like, that's a friend for life right there.
That is a friend for life. Nah,
I couldn't believe it. I was like, dang.
Dude, that's wild. I don't know if you've never seen the movie The Crow, but man, there's a really cool moment where the crow's following him as he's running on the rooftops. That could have been you.
Oh, no way.
That could have been you.
Oh, I have to watch that movie.
Could have been you. You should. Dang. You should definitely check it out.
All right, we got transition into movie news, man.
We should, dude.
It's time.
We should, but I wanted to tell you one last thing.
Oh, no, go ahead. If you have one more thing. What do you got?
No, just about the because you said you were scared. So when we had finished King Kong, Godzilla, whatever movie, was it Godzilla Cross Kong?
X Kong. Yeah.
Whatever. That movie. When we left.
We should talk about the movie, but yeah.
We should. So when I got out of the theater, your wife had said, do you want us to walk you? And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And then I walked back by myself, and I didn't feel like scared or anything because there was people walking with me who had just seen the movie as well. But I was more sad. I was like, man, I wish I had my wife with me. Like it's always nice because that moment of walking with her, it's always like, so what'd you think? And it's like a nice little conversation of it. And that's just.
I know I should have parked where you normally park because I was thinking about it in my head. I was like, oh, it would have been nice to like walk and talk about the movie. I always love doing that, but. There was like I don't know, for some reason we went the long way and we parked on the backside. I was like, shoot. It's like Ernie's I know he's not gonna park over here.
No, dude, you guys park where freaking Bruce Wayne's parents died, and I don't go through that alley.
You're like, I don't want to do that.
Like I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm not. But
yeah.
Let's get into something else. Go ahead.
What'd you think about the movie though, dude? I had a blast.
Well, go get into it. Tell me what you thought. I mean, you already said I had a blast.
So we can have that talk, right? That as we were walking to the car talk. So like when we were walking back, I think both of us were laughing because it's such a fun, like corny, like almost like you're watching a cartoon from the 90s or like I don't know, one of those 80s action movies. It felt very Michael Bay.
Yeah. I want to say this because you were saying this, but you and your wife had two cool like ideas of what I would have think the same thing of like what you think the movie was kind of like. And I think this was perfectly summed up was your wife had said, it reminds me of Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's true.
Exactly.
And then you had said, it reminds me of Transformers. And I'm like, yes. Like, it's like that perfect combination of those both. That's exactly how it felt watching that film. But continue. I just wanted to bring that up because I was
Yeah, it's
hoping
true
you would
because
forget.
even like Pacific Rim was more taken more seriously, right? Like if you watch Pacific Rim, it's still not as fun and goofy as this one was. This one was so self-aware, right? It knew what it was giving the audience. Like it's like, okay, we know what you're here for. But I will say I was still annoyed whenever they cut back to the humans. I got to that point where I was like, no, you know what we want. We don't want more of this. But as the movie got towards like the third act, I think they were just like, okay, full on, here's what you want. Like we'll just give it to you. And dude, I don't know about you. No, you were like we were laughing quite a bit in the theater, and
Yeah, at moments that weren't supposed to be laughable, but they were, and it
they
wasn't
were,
just us.
yeah.
Were they? I don't know. And see, that's the thing. I don't think they film it. They're like, people are gonna laugh right here, because there was
Well,
like a
not
moment
laugh,
with
but
the girl just comes out, and you're just like, we were
dude,
dying, and we're like, why are we laughing? And like I was saying, like it wasn't just us. There was like
no,
another person.
the theater erupted, right?
Like yeah, there was like another person and another person on the back of that, and there was like people like laughing,
Yeah.
you know, because like I mean at this point you probably guys have seen the clip, but he grabs the little monkey at some point, one of the little apes, and he like
Yeah.
uses
And
him
he's
as
just
a
like
freaking
throwing
like,
him around.
dude,
Oh my gosh, that
we
was good.
were dying, bro. It was so hilarious, bro.
I was,
It's
and even like the part in the trailer when you finally have Godzilla and Kong running together, dude. I was like, yes, let's
oh,
go.
I know, I
Like
saw
it's,
you,
it was funny.
which is really cool, sweet. Because I looked, I turned to him, and Jason was like, he was like really
You know how I
into
do?
it.
I was like, "Guys, do
yeah,
it."
he got up and he started clapping. I'm just kidding, no.
I know, and I turned around to the kids. I was like, shush, no, no.
Nah,
dude, it
then
was-
I turned around and I recorded him, and I'm like, hey, do you want to be famous? I'm just kidding.
Dude, I don't know. I had a fun time. I know you did you say that? I think you might have said something like, I kind of got a sense for you that you thought it might be too cheesy. Like, oh, that was ridiculous. Like at the end,
It was ridiculously cheesy for sure. I think it was the right amount of cheese, though. You know what I mean? I always say this because it's very true. Some things get, even the cheesiest things like those Hallmark movies, they become like extremely cheesy in terms of like these moments in the movie or in movies where it's like so cringy that you just can't take it. There's a word for it. I think it's called cloying, if I'm not mistaken.
Chloe.
Cloying, I think it's what it's called. But let me see. I kind of want to look this up. I don't know my vocabulary. Oh yeah, here it is. Excessively sweet, rich, or sentimental, especially to a disgusting or sickening degree. That's so it is a word, something like that.
Chloe.
But yeah, cloying. But like I enjoyed it. Like it was a lot of fun. I was telling friend of the cast Lex after I finished the movie. I messaged him and I was like, "This movie is fun, but it's gonna be like you're gonna laugh a lot. Like it has those moments of just like pure comedy when it shouldn't have been."
Yeah.
And like I think you were talking about this before the cast had started. I'm sure if y'all watch the trailers, King Kong gets a freaking Power Glove, a Nintendo Power Glove, right? And and it's like it's so perfectly made for him, and on the right the hand that he needs it most. You know what I mean? It's just I
Right.
won't get into spoilers, obviously, but it's just like
My wife was
things
like, what if he hurt the other arm?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I wasn't gonna say that, but you just spoiled that. But like, yeah, just like
Oh,
It's
you
just
see
like
him get the
these-
glove, right? Oh, yeah, I guess the hurting part.
you know the
sorry.
hurting part. But I mean,
But for some reason, he needed the glove, right?
well, you already said it. You can't backtrack, dude.
How
This
can
is
you
live.
spoil this movie? Come on.
Nah,
I
I
don't
know,
know.
right? I feel like there's probably one thing that we shouldn't say.
Yeah, that's
but I
There's
mean,
a lot of little surprises, I would say. I thought there was quite a good amount.
but I do want to go back to my review on it. I think, and I think you agree with me, and I think you might have already said this, but the moments when they went to the humans or the people, right, felt sort of like I don't want to see this. Like I
Right,
don't
it's like-
really care for you to set this up. Take me to frickin' King Kong and frickin' Godzilla, you know. Let me see what they're doing. And like every time they were on screen, like again, like it was like you could feel that people were like excited to see them. Like when they start running together, when Godzilla goes to fight like other creatures, because they show you like him fighting certain like things because he's still protecting the world, right?
Yeah.
And like it's really cool. Like it actually feels like how I felt when we saw Godzilla versus Kong. Remember when we saw that and we were like cheering? Like I remember
Yeah,
we
there
were
are
all,
those
like,
cheering moments. Yeah,
there's
for
like
sure.
moments like that, and it was really fun. I think it was weird because our theater experience wasn't as packed, and we did go on a later showing of the film, but I still expected it to be a lot, more people there. So, I mean, the movie's doing well. I mean, we're gonna get into the box office breakdown probably soon, but I'm surprised that I didn't see it as like a full house, dude.
That's true. I mean, yeah, it is doing really well like overseas and stuff. We went super late. I think that's probably why. But yeah, I agree with like those moments where you just kind of like cheer. You're just like excited for it. I was gonna say the no, I don't want to spoil it. But the little monkey dude was making me laugh like the whole time.
Oh yeah,
like
the little Dewey.
The little
from
like
Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh yeah, my wife leaned over. She's like, "Is that like it's like a Dobby character or like something else?"
Dobby character.
But like it was cute. This was definitely, I would say, more Kong's movie, right? Like this is definitely like a more focus on him. But you were asking me about Monarch, the series Monarch, and like how much it ties in. And I don't think you need to watch Monarch at all to watch this movie. Like it's not like it's, you got to watch all the shows to make, to for the continuity. But I did like that Monarch explains some of the like silly things, like why did they need Godzilla, or why did they need King Kong to go down to the, to the underworld and whatever. So like little things get explained just if you watch the show. I think it kind of built out the lore a little bit more, and it is like it is making sense. It's consistent with the show, which I thought was cool. Like there was nothing that was like, wait, that's not what happened in the show. So I liked that it was consistent all the way through. It's a good show. I did you watch any of it? I enjoyed it.
No, I really wanted to watch it. I told my wife about it, and we were gonna check it out when we had Apple TV for a moment, and we just never got around to it for whatever reason. I think this is around the time I think I told you where me and my wife would watch like these random like horror films that were like TikTok suggested. So it was like random like movies from 2010, like like really really random movies.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. But I mean, it's not a bad show. I think it kind of explores some more of the different creatures, different lore. Kind of gives you a backstory of who Monarch, the society or the organization is, I guess. Definitely not bad. I was actually wondering.
But where's Millie Bobby Brown, dude? Is what I want.
Yeah, she's not. I was actually. It's funny. I googled it afterwards. I was like, why wasn't she in this movie? Because a lot of the returning cast from Godzilla versus Kong is in this movie.
She was doing Damsel, dude.
And well, she said, according to, or actually no, the writer or the director made a comment and said they felt like her arc was completed in the last one, and that she wasn't needed for this one. Like they didn't have a good way of fitting her in. I'm like, come on, bro. Like this is a very loose and easy script. Like this isn't complicated as far as the script. Like she could have been in there. Like why not? The funny thing was
they could have, but she did. I didn't even like her in
all the
movies.
human characters could have been not in this movie actually.
Yeah, I would have liked it. You know who I was thinking, and I might be wrong. Wasn't Aaron Taylor Johnson in Godzilla?
In the very first one, right?
The first one, right? He was like
reboot. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he was, but I think he dies in the movie, huh?
Whoa! Spoil it. No, yeah.
I mean, it's an old movie. I don't want to. I mean, it's not like. Yeah, he is. Okay, so yeah, he's in the first Godzilla movie. I kept thinking for whatever reason watching this movie, I'm like, I wonder if Aaron Taylor Johnson's gonna come out. But then I kept like going, oh, I think he's dead. I think he's dead.
Yeah,
because
Bryan Cranston, same thing, right?
I think Bryan Cranston, dude. I think he's in Godzilla, but Bryan Cranston is awesome in that movie.
Yeah,
and it sucks that they killed him off. Like he's such a good character. Like he actually stood out. He's actually
he was one of the humans that you tolerated, right? Like
yeah. He's the dad of Millie Bobby Brown and Aaron Taylor Johnson's characters in the movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen, dude. That first one is so good, and I haven't watched it in a long time.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I need to go back. There's a little monkey bed. This guy was hilarious.
He's a friend, dude. So there's something sad that happens to the little friend, and then he cries a little bit. And it's sad, dude. I felt bad.
I remember I leaned over to you and I was like, dude, this is like God of War in a way, like with the.
Oh yeah, when he's walking, yeah.
Yeah, because he's walking with the axe and he's.
Freaking Kratos and Atreus.
He's like, go show me how to hunt.
He's all
right,
boy.
Boy. It's like right now, yes. Dude, I started playing that. I started playing the game. I'm not through it yet. Don't spoil it, but it's
Wait,
good.
which one? The first you said?
The first one, yeah.
Not the first one, but the PS5 one.
Yeah. It's like the first like game I downloaded for PlayStation.
Wowzers!
And now I'm never coming out of my hole. I'm just gonna always play games.
That's awesome. I love that, dude. I just finished recently, on spring break. I finished this game called Death Stranding. It's
I heard this one.
it's a really interesting game. If I were to like, it's interesting because like I was telling my oldest brother this, but I'm like, if I were to tell you what's going on in this game, it just doesn't sound cool enough because all you're doing is delivering things from person to person because the world is riddled with these like creatures that basically can kill you. So
it's
there's
like fetch quests all day long.
Yeah, so it's like you're a freaking UPS FedEx driver going from place to place on foot, in a bike, in a car, or whatever. But the game, as the more you progress, the better it gets, and it's, dude, I freaking loved it. And I played like, dude, I kid you not, I looked at my time and it was like 35 hours.
Oh, wow.
When I beat it in 35 hours. I was so invested. I would tell my wife about it. Usually, I don't tell my wife about when I game because she doesn't care. But even when she doesn't care, I still tell her. But I was telling her about this game, and I was like, "Oh, my baby!" There's like you have like this little baby who's oh my gosh, I think they're like 6 months. They're still not stillborn. I forget what's it called when the kid's born early. I forget what that is. It's called something.
Early birth.
I don't even know. Whatever. But you have like a little baby in a pod with you, and he helps you throughout the game. And he's like a little baby, and his name is BB. You later on find out.
Like Paul Atreides' baby inside the mom.
Exactly. Freaking. Then yeah.
Dune 2.
This one goes. And it's in like.
What is it called? Death Stranded? You said
it's called Death Stranding.
Yeah. Stranding. Okay.
It's really, really great game. Really, really fun. But continue, please.
So I was gonna say, speaking of recommendations, dude, would you recommend Godzilla X Kong?
I would. Question. I definitely would. I think this is a fun movie. It's a fun I think this should have came out in the summertime because then it could have been like a fun summer movie to watch. I think I definitely recommend it. It's not like the greatest thing out there, but it's fun. Like I don't think you're gonna watch it. You know what I mean? Like it's just
yeah.
It's a good movie. It's not great. It's just in that middle.
You got to know what you're going into, right? Like you don't expect Shakespeare, don't expect like deep plot. This is like a fun monster movie. Like go in expecting a monster movie and I think you'll have fun, right?
Yeah.
Like I think if you hate Godzilla movies, don't watch this. It's not -1. That's one of the things I said when we were walking back to the cars. Like -1 is infinitely better, but this was a fun time.
Like yes, right? Graphically, story.
Yeah, even the graphics, dude. The graphics
everything was way better on that movie. But again, you know, this is different, right? This is not the same thing, and you could tell that it was trying to appease a certain crowd of people with this particular film. It wasn't like it was made for this crowd of the Pacific Rim, Transformers. You know what I mean? Those types of people, the Michael Bays. Yeah. This is what this is, and it's good, bro. It's got some great shots, some great scenes. But then there's like because of like, you know, we're comparing it to -1. You see the CGI and you're like, man.
Yeah, that's why my wife thought was it Power Rangers, right? Because she's like, what are these 90s graphics at the beginning? You could tell which shots that were gonna be in the trailer. Like they spent their time on it, like made it a lot higher quality. But I mean, the movie's doing well. Like let's look at the numbers here. I feel like, let's see, what is it at worldwide? Godzilla X Kong is past the 200. It's at 213 worldwide. 213 million for only 6 days. So it's only been out for almost less than a week. It's already hit the 200. So it's doing pretty good. Ghostbusters is at 76 million for the second week. Frozen Empire, it's dropped about 20%. Kung Fu Panda is sitting there. Oh, I wonder how much Kung Fu Panda's done worldwide. Ooh, Kung Fu Panda's doing really well. 363 million worldwide and 156 in domestic. And then Dune Part 2 has fallen down to 4, which I'm sad about because I feel like Dune should just ride that. Like, it should ride all the way into the summer, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Dune has crossed the 630 million. Dude, 630 million for Dune.
That's wild. That's wild.
That is wild. I mean, it deserves it, bro. It's such a good movie.
It's a great movie, dude. I can't wait till it comes out on theater. Or I mean,
and
on,
rewatchable. There's so
VOD.
much rewatchability, right?
Yeah. I picked like I said when I well you did as well when we watched it the second time. There was little things you pick up on that you normally don't.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. If you guys haven't seen it, watch that one. Immaculate. Sydney Sweeney is a nun. She's a number 5. It's made 12 million. So it's a little movie, a little neon movie. Arthur and the King, which I still want to watch. The one with the dog is at number 6. Imaginary is at. Dude, Imaginary, has it made its money? I think so, right?
I watched that movie actually.
Nickels and dimes, right? What do you think of it?
I watched it. It was okay. It was good. I think it was a good scary movie. It creeped me out. It did what it needed to do. I think it was a solid 6. Like if I had to review it with a number score, it would be like a 6. And that's a really great score for a horror movie. I've talked about that many times. If you see a 6 for a horror movie, it's pretty decent. There's something that it lacks, but it makes up for in other ways. But we enjoyed it. I think my wife said the same thing, but my wife was like, "Well, I didn't fall asleep, so I was entertained enough to stay up." You know what I mean? Like, and that's a big.
Yeah.
That's how. And
that's a
maybe
good
that's
bar,
maybe
right?
maybe that's just our wives, because I feel like maybe Alex or your wife Alex, my wife Diane, and actually their sister, which is our sister-in-law, Ebel, and she says the same thing. They all will be like, "Well, we stayed awake."
Right.
So
it kept our attention.
It kept our attention. That's how.
Right?
Yeah, this is how it is. It's like that's their way. We should just put a review scale for them. Like it'll be the watch closely one, and then the wives one, where it's the did we fall asleep?
It'll be like wide awake, slightly drowsy, dozing off, and asleep.
and then there's gonna be little caveats like, oh. They did work an 8-hour shift this day. You know,
right.
It'll be like, you know what I mean? Like
there'll be like little bonuses. Good night's sleep, like a little plus.
Yeah,
2.
it was like, oh, and they ate a great meal today, or they ate something too carby that made them tired. You know, something.
Right. Had bread -1. Dude, do you know the movie I do want to watch though? The scary movie that I don't want to watch it, but the trailer was
the
creeping
American
me out.
Society of Magical Words?
No, that's not a horror movie. I mean, unless you're from a certain perspective, maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but dude, there's a movie coming out called Sting, and you should watch the trailer, bro. I don't know if we can watch it here, but it's basically there's a giant spider loose. There's a giant spider loose in the apartment, and or it could, I don't know. The trailer makes it seem like there is a mama spider and there's like little spiders, but like imagine a giant. Like,
oh god, I just got the chilly willies.
Like a huge spider on my wall, right? And it just like goes. Oh my gosh, I don't like spiders. So I mean, I'm not like against like the nice cute ones, but like big spiders that are like scary.
I'm against them all.
I was like, dude, this is gonna be one of those creep you out movies. So like, oh, see, like
man, I don't like that, dude. I don't see.
Like, I don't know.
No, I don't like spiders. I'm like not deathly afraid of them, but I'm like where I just don't like them. But if I see a spider in the house, I'll save it. Like I'm that type of person. Like I always teach my
like I'll throw it
like,
outside, right?
Yeah,
like,
we'll put it outside. Like get out of here, friend. Go live your life out there, not in here.
Go live your life.
And I always warn them. I'm like, get out of here, or you're gonna die.
This is it.
Get out.
I don't
like this at all. No.
That's what I said when I saw the poster.
I don't like this at all.
I don't want to watch that. Imagine the whole movie.
Can you show me how? Wait, go ahead.
You're like, can you take this off the screen? Okay. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna tell you. Can you show me how well the movie Magical Society of there it is right there to the right, all the way to the right on trending movies, the American Society of Magical.
How well it's doing?
And I want to see how it did.
There's only domestic box office. I don't think it got released in the international, so it's made about 2 million.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not
so I went to support this movie. I wanted to see what the fuss was about. I had to. Like it was just there was something that I didn't watch enough of it. I just watched the trailer and I'm like, okay, I understand the concept and I wanted to see. So I checked it out, dude, and I'm gonna give you my little review of it. It's a good movie. There's nothing great about it. I think the acting is pretty well done. I think Justice Smith did a great job. He plays the character really well. but I think it gets to a point where it just becomes like, all right, let's relax. Like let's tone it down a little bit here. But it's like they really hammered into it.
Yeah.
Like, because that's just what the whole story is about, is basically there's a secret society of black people who their sole purpose is to make white people comfortable. And so they really go off of that. And I'm like, okay, I get it. And like, not, I don't get the concept, but I get what they're trying to go for.
Mm-hmm.
And while watching the movie, I'm like, man, like do something better, like with this script. Because and this is just me, maybe, because I'm not like, I don't want anybody against anyone. This kind of seems like it's trying to be against white people, which is really stupid. It's like, I don't know, racism, right? But whatever. I was thinking, like, if this movie had been written to like help everyone, like where it's like these characters are there and their society is to help people who are in need, I feel like it would have been a way better movie, because the overall concept of that help and that they at one point they helped this police officer feel confident about himself, and I was like, dude, this is wonderful, this is great, I love this. But then they're like, oh well, no, if we don't help this guy, he's gonna kill a black man. And I'm like, dude, he can kill anybody, you know what I mean? Like, why does, but again, that's the whole purpose of this film. It's, you know, it's about black people feeling uncomfortable. And I'm like, man, but I guess, again, I was telling you this prior to the podcast, I'm like, maybe this movie wasn't for me, but I'm also like, who is this for? Because like, it's not doing as well as it could have been doing, right? Like, is it like,
it's
like,
not doing well.
No, okay.
I don't
so
know
like,
who it's for, bro. Like, who is it for? Like,
I don't know, but like the thing is, like, even the people who it was for, they didn't go see it. The problem is also, I was telling you this prior to the cast, like, I can't even say the name. I said it last time on the podcast, but apparently you were telling me we can't say the name of the movie. And I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to tell people I went to go see this movie that you named that? It's like, I don't know. It's just, it bothers me, because it's like,
yeah. Well,
like,
you heard the director. I don't know if you saw the clip with the director. The guy asked him the same question. He's like, are we supposed to say the title? And he's like, well, you can't say the title. And he's like, that was the whole point, is that he wanted it to be like this, like, thing that made people uncomfortable.
How well did it do for you? How good did that how did that help you? How did that do for him? You should have asked him. How did that go for you? Like, was it worth it?
I think he was just trying to cause a stir and, like, you know, stir up the pot and make it, you know, make people talk about it.
It's dumb, bro. But like, I recommend it. Like, I recommend you guys to go watch it, because it's not. Are you
recommending the helpfulness? Like, what are you recommending? Because it sounded like you didn't.
I mean, no. I don't like the overall message. I don't like when there's hate to anyone. I don't think anyone should hate anyone. And I think in this movie, there's an initial, like, sort of hate to white people, right? I don't like that at all. Like, had roles reversed, imagine a white person had made a movie about white people doing that to black people or whatever, it wouldn't been the same thing, right? Obviously, people are gonna say, like, well, you know, black people have gone through this and all that. I'm not gonna get into that. That's up to you. I just don't like it at all. Like, why are we doing this? But
you still recommend the movie.
Yeah,
you don't like the message, but you still.
I don't like that message, but I like the movie. I think Justice Smith and the overall, like, little moments of the story, because there's some really cool, like, dude, they had such a great, like, they have a really cool way of being magical. It's really funny. And I was telling you this, I think if they really lent themselves to being like a Key and Peele skit, where it's like way funnier than it should have been, then I think it would have been a lot better received. Mm-hmm. But it tries to be serious. And like, Justice Smith at some point has a speech, sort of like America Ferrera or Barbie or whatever her name is from Barbie. Yeah. He has a speech like that, and like, it's like supposed to be really powerful and enduring and endearing and all that stuff about how he feels and all that stuff. And it doesn't. Like, obviously, no one's talked about it. No one's really, like, said anything. Like, I think most people are bashing it because of what it's trying to do.
Well, so okay, let me put it to you this way: would you want a sequel?
Man, I want to spoil something. But I shouldn't.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to, because I don't care. None of you guys went to go watch it, obviously. It's not doing well. Yeah. Nobody went to go see it. I went to go see it, and no one is giving me a medal for supporting it, dude. Where am I? Why am I
You're
not
supposed to stand outside the door and let them watch it.
like Black Panther? Oh, that was
Yeah,
so.
Black Panther.
I'm telling you, I hate that. I hate the hate. I don't like that. I really don't like that. But what I wanted to say was, at the end of the film, the girl who he ends up falling in love with, she ends up having her own society of women, and you could tell where it's gonna go from there, right? It's gonna be women who hate or who need to make men feel comfortable. It's just because I guess it's trying to stir the pot, right? And I get that, and it did it, right? I mean, people got mad about it. I didn't get mad. I just don't like. I've never liked being like when people are hating other people. Like that's just not right.
Do you want more movies like this? Would you say vote with your wallet and
no, dude? If you're gonna
signal to the companies to make more of these,
no, I hope this is a signal to not make more of these. I think if you want to support black movies and like you like movies like that, because I watch. I mean, there's a bunch of black movies you could watch. I've watched like all the Tyler Perry movies. I love those movies. They're great. If you want to watch something like that, Jordan Peele's movies, right? He does all black cast. Like support movies where the movies are going to be great. Not where it's trying to support hatred. You know what I mean? That's never fun.
Yeah.
Because I just want to I want to say this, Jason. And see if you agree with me. It's like, would you want to show someone a movie so they can hate a particular group of people? Like it's like, hey, watch this movie and look how they're gonna mistreat these like people. It's like, I don't know.
Well, no, I don't want that.
It doesn't just sit right with me with that, but it's not like the way I'm saying it to you guys where I'm like, oh, it's really hating on like the white culture. It's not, but it's not like where it's like really really bad, you know, where it's like where like it's like pure hatred, because obviously they're trying to help these people, but I think it's trying to cause like that subtlety of like, oh, you should watch out for these kinds of people because they're uncomfortable around you. And, yeah, right. It's hard to speak on it because. Again, we're not black, and you know, according to this movie, black people go through something completely different than we do.
True. It's funny that Justice Smith is not like black. He's got a white mother, so.
I think even in the movie he has a white mom. I think
really?
says or something like that, if I'm not mistaken, but. Forget.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the reason why I was grilling you was because when you say it's a good movie, it's signaling to people like, oh, go watch it. But I feel like you're saying like it's not, the message is not good, but there are you found good in certain aspects.
Exactly, and that's what I was trying to tell you is that there's like cool moments of like when they're doing their magic, like where like what they're doing, where they're set up. It didn't feel like Hogwarts or they were ripping anything off. But there was like these cool things, like they kind of they do this stupid silly skit, which is where I told you about Jordan Peele, where they're teaching all the younger kind of black magical people that are coming in to like how to handle situations with certain types of white people, and they use the clip of Green Mile where he's I'm tired, you know, I'm tired balls or whatever, remember? But he grabs Tom Hanks's his ball sack or penis, remember, in that movie to help him. Do you not remember that movie, Green Mile? He does that. He puts his hand on there and he throws up some black goo or whatever. They do that in that movie, but it's like a different dude, obviously, and it's really silly. But I was like, wow, that's pretty freaking funny. You know what I mean? But other than that, like, there's like it just and then later on. Someone does that to like one of the newer guys does that to someone and it doesn't work. And then he goes at the end, obviously I told you Justin Smith has his speech and then it changes everything and then all the black folk who are helping the whites goes like, maybe sometime you need to put your hand on my balls or something. It's like really silly, but like it's I'm telling you, there's like good moments. There's like some pretty funny moment, like pretty funny and good moments of the film. Like the acting is really well done, but Like I like Justice Smith. I would have liked him to just been a magical guy helping people because of the way he is. Like in the movie, he's very like, oh, I'm sorry. Like he's in your way for everyone. Like he's in everyone's way, and I would have liked him to become secure to help people like him be secure. Like help. Like that would have been like the helping hand, like for everyone. Like not just white people. It would have been fun like that, but. Again, different message at that point.
Interesting. That's funny. It's like they're like it could have had the ingredients to be a good movie if they hadn't had a message they were trying to drive home in a way. Like they could have done something.
I
cool
think
with
so,
it.
but again, maybe
he's not a bad actor. Like what else was he's been in? He's been in
the Pokemon movie. We always
the Pokemon.
Pikachu, right? He
was in Jurassic World too, right? Fallen Kingdom.
That's right.
Yeah, I wonder if he's gonna show up for that.
Maybe, possibly.
All right, we got to get into our bit of news for the week.
Get the popcorn out.
Let's talk about. We have a upcoming movie that's coming out called The Bride, and I think this is Maggie Gyllenhaal's second directorial debut. I think the first one she directed was The Lost Daughter. But Maggie Gyllenhaal, or Gyllenhaal, I think it's Gyllenhaal. There's a Y, but she's directing The Bride, which is a retelling of the Frankenstein movie, and we get our first look at Christian Bale, who's going to be playing the monster. And I thought it was pretty cool. What do you think of like this image, bro? Like
he kind of looks like the Joker, like
a little bit,
like, Jared Leto's.
I love like the makeup work with like the stitching on the head and like on the shoulder, dude. It looks. I mean, this is supposed to be kind of a fresh take on the Bride of Frankenstein. It's supposed to be set in the 1930s in Chicago. I kind of like it. I kind of think it's cool. It could be like a modern. I mean, it does kind of have a Joker-esque, feel to it. Just kind of the lighting in the picture, like the style of it. But what are your thoughts, bro? You think it
looks cool, dude? It looks creepy. I didn't know it was Christian Bale. Like if I didn't know it was Christian Bale looking at the image, going into looking at the image, then I wouldn't have known. I would have been like, this is the like you said, the makeup, the prosthetics that they used. It looks really, really neat. Like it looks realistic. Sort of like you can kind of touch. Like, you know what I mean? Like that feeling of like that, his cuts and all that. Like it's genuine is what it looks like to me.
Yeah. It looks like those are real like staples, right? Like staples to the forehead. And like, I mean, that's what you want in a Frankenstein. That's his classic, that's how you draw him. Is like the bolts. Actually, you can't tell if his neck has bolts. I wonder if his neck has bolts. That'd be kind of cool. So the story follows Frankenstein's creature seeking to create a companion with the help of Dr. Euphonimus, leading to an unforeseen consequence. The cast also includes notable actors like Annette Bening, Penelope Cruz, and Peter Skarsgård. And I think Jessie Buckley, who was in, I think she's playing the bride, she was in like Men and like also The Lost Daughter, which Maggie Gyllenhaal directed, and Fingernails. I don't know if you saw Fingernails. That was an Apple TV one.
I did not. Which one's that one?
That one's pretty good. I don't want to spoil it, but here, let me see if I can show you this is her. You've seen Men though, right? Like I think Men's probably the biggest one that she's in. The one though, the trailer is like, oh
yeah. That's right. Wow, he just brought that back to my head, dude. That's wow.
Yeah. That was the whole trailer. But I think she's gonna be playing the bride, yeah. And it's set to release in theaters October 3rd of next year. I mean, so far, like she posted a couple pictures on Instagram. She's got the slate. She's got a picture of Jessie as the bride, and then Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster. So I mean, it looks good so far. I mean, this is just like a first look, but I'm down. I dig it. Oh, sorry, you couldn't see. Shoot, you couldn't see the. I guess it went into a new tab, but that's Jessie Buckley.
Yeah.
It says Meet the Bride and Frank with a little black heart.
That's pretty cool. Why does she have the black in her mouth, do you think? What is that? Blood?
Maybe she, it looks like an ink splatter. Like maybe she was biting a pen and then it exploded in her mouth. We'll find out.
I don't like it.
It's the way they're dressed. It kind of gives me a Sherlock Holmes kind of vibe, like that kind of 1930s. I mean, Chicago, right? 1930s Chicago is very iconic, so I think the style will definitely be cool. But yeah, I like it. Any other thoughts before we go on to the next one?
No, I'm excited for it. I want to definitely check it out. Dude, you know what I was telling my wife? I'm like, dude, I kind of want to get A-list for just myself, and then to go watch movies just by myself. But I'm like, last time I went, I
on a movie
podcast by myself,
bro.
And I was slow, and I was sad. So I don't know.
You should. I think you should, because it's your duty as a podcast movie host. You gotta be up on coming on the movies, right?
I'm gonna have to put it on the watch closely card.
I was gonna say we're gonna have to have like a tip jar. If you guys want to support this guy to get him his A-list, buy me a cup of coffee. The little.
I'm gonna put my. I don't know if you saw this, but people were putting on their car, and this is like a scam for a while. They were putting, "Oh, tip me, I just graduated," or "Tip me, I just got married," or something like that. Venmo me or whatever.
Oh,
and people would send a lot of money, and then people started making YouTube videos of like them receiving so much amount of money from random strangers. Because you see that, and people are, you know what? I feel good today. Let me go send them $20 so they can buy themselves a drink or something. And people were scamming, and I'm like, wow. People are sick.
What are you gonna do?
It's kind of like panhandling, but it's
right?
a digital age. Could you imagine if a panhandler came up to you, Chase? I apologize going on this rant, but I like how you always switch out. He's like, he's gonna talk.
I want to see your face. Go ahead, tell us.
Dude, imagine a panhandler comes up to you, and then you're like, I don't have any cash, and then he, like you said before, like I think we were talking, is like, I have my tablet here, or my Venmo is this.
Right.
Like, dude, you know how crazy it is now? So when I was younger, right, you'd get the elote man with, the corn on the cob. You would get the ice cream man would come by, right, and all that stuff. Now, like, there's, like, in corners, you'll get, like, the people making tamales, champurrados, like, random, like, just people making food, right, tacos. They have a Venmo and they have a Zelle. And it's shocking to me for whatever reason. I'm always just like, that is wild. The new age. But that's it.
It's
Let's
true.
go to the next one.
That's what TikTok has become, right? The TikTok lives, it's panhandling in a way, right? It's just like, I'm here. Who wants to send me money, right?
It's like that girl that was doing popcorn with the hair straightener, and then she got really big because she would go gang gang, gang gang, like she was an NPC. You remember she was an NPC? She's still doing it.
Yeah, is she still doing it?
Yeah. Did you ever see the guy?
Everyone started copying her, right? It became a trend for a while.
Well, yeah.
And it was like
I think it was a trend, but she was the most famous one out of them. But do you remember the Miles Morales guy? He's like he dresses like Miles Morales as Spider-Man or whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
At some point, there was they trolled him, and he had a the little universe, like a little. So if you buy it, he always does an emote of like something, and he jumps, and he's like, whoa, and he's like, wow, I was in another galaxy or whatever, and wow, I was in another galaxy, and they kept like spamming him, so people kept paying him, and then he's like, oh, and you could hear him in the background, dude, dying, bro, and I freaking loved it, dude. I was dying. I was like, this is great.
Gaming the system's like, fine, here you go.
There you go, dude. And, here you go. Here's your money, but you got to work for it. But it was just funny because he was like genuinely dying. And at some point he stops and he's drinking a fat chug of water because he's like, he's tired, bro. He's like,
right. Yeah, I know. That's the whole point, right? Like I saw another one where the guy was like running, like he's doing a little jog every time someone sent him like a little running man or whatever. And he was just like, he's going to have to go all night, dude. They just kept going. That was funny, bro. But yeah. Okay, let's get into our next topic. Oh, that got your attention, bro. We have a director for the new Supergirl. So Craig Gillespie, I think. Craig Gillespie is set to direct Supergirl, Women of Tomorrow. Gillespie is known for films like I, Tonya and Cruella. The film is set to star Millie Alcock from, House of the Dragon. The younger version of, I forget her name. Circe or whatever. And she's gonna be starring
What did you say?
Cara.
The young what? Are you talking about Cara Zor-El or who?
No, Millie Alcock is.
Millie Alcock.
She's
yeah,
famous
yeah.
for
House of the Dragon. Yeah. Oh,
And
my
she's the
apologies.
younger
I thought you
version
were
of.
saying.
I couldn't remember the princess's name.
Oh, I don't even. Man, I didn't watch that show. I want to.
I want to say Princess.
You want to look it up?
I don't know. It's okay. We don't. But you guys know who she is. If you guys need a picture, there might be a picture. But she's one of the early ones before they did the time jump. She's gonna be playing Cara Zor-El, who's Supergirl. And while Ernie's looking it up, it's inspired by the Tom King and Balesque Evely comic, aimed for a departure from the CW's portrayal in Supergirl. So it's not going to be anything like the CW. It's going to have a completely different take on it.
She's Queen Rhaenyra.
Rhaenyra. That's what it is.
Thank you.
The young Queen Rhaenyra, yeah. Princess Rhaenyra, I guess. Thank you. James Gunn also mentioned that the film will explore Supergirl's harsher upbringing compared to Superman's. I know, like, in the comics, right, wasn't there a version where she kind of like sits or she's like stranded on not stranded, but she's like on a crater looking down and watching Clark and like, or I guess Superman, Jor-El, something like that, and she gets like jealous, and then she comes to Earth and she like causes trouble.
That's
something
cool.
Like
no,
that.
I didn't see that. Every time I see it, usually Kara is either seeing what's going on in Krypton, so she's seeing people die and the Krypton she's lived in being destroyed, either by Brainiac or for whatever reason, whatever. And she's seeing all that happen. So when she takes off with her cousin, she has PTSD because of all the stuff she's seen. So that's how I've seen her, but I've never read comics of her, dude. Honestly, I almost named my daughter Kara. Did I ever tell you that?
Oh no, that's cool.
I really wanted to, but my wife, she's like, well, you can name her middle. Give her the middle name as Kara.
Be like,
but it just didn't sound cool.
You only get one DC character name.
Yeah, because it was like Amelia Kara, and I was like, man, that doesn't sound as sweet. So I said Amelia Quinn.
That's right. I mean, yeah, Kara first name would be kind of cool, but I feel like we're just so. I mean, Amelia, like we're so used to
now, but you would have been like, oh,
name.
That's Kara, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Kara would be kind of cool, dude.
Dude, if I had a son, dude, he's. I almost called, dude. If I was, sorry, I'm gonna rant.
Ben Jor-El.
No, I was gonna. I was gonna call him. I was gonna call him Superman.
No, just plain Superman. Imagine. What's your name? I'm just.
No, Superman. I was gonna name him Kal-El, or like.
Oh,
Clark,
there you go.
But I mean, that's super needy. Kal-El. That's super needy. Super.
And then she would have hated him, and she would have been like causing trouble, just like Supergirl.
Like Supergirl is.
Day. Okay, I don't know how to say this next name, but it's Anna Nogueira. She's the writer of the script, and I don't know if she's notable or, but it's cool. We got a director, we got a writer, and we got a lead. So it's, I mean, set to film. Was it next year? I think so. So I mean, it's getting pretty close, right? She's penning the project, and it does not have a release date, but it's currently in production of Superman. Of course, that's a silly way to end the article. We're currently in production of a different movie. Come back later when we know. Yeah, the film's date is yet to be announced. But dude, it's cool. Like, I think his track record, Cruella, I didn't mind it. I didn't like how they try to take a classic Disney villain and make her good. Like, if it was somebody else other than Cruella, I thought it was a decent movie. Like, if you separate the Disney villain from it, thought he did fine directing it. Had a kind of a style flair to it. Tonya, that's another drama, drama movie. I think he could probably pull it off. Is it going to be a much bigger budget for him? I think. And obviously it's not CW level. It's going to be like big theatrical level. So he needs, I'm sure Gunn will come along and like help him out because he's done a lot of big budgets. But if they're all kind of working together, I think this could be good. I don't know. What do you think? You think this is a good move?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I'm really curious to see his take on Supergirl, or at least the script. But because I mean, obviously he's gonna be directing it. But like you said, with like Cruella, right? He made a anti-hero sort of movie, like they gave a perspective to Cruella, like why she is the way she is, and I think, it's a cool story, but also like some people are just evil because they're
Right?
evil.
Like, can you just
Like
let her be a bad guy?
yeah, we don't need her backstory. We don't need to see why she hates dogs and wants to make a suit out of them. You know what I mean? Like I let's not. But again, the movie was really well received, and I enjoyed it. But like, did I need it? No. But what do we need most of these things? So I'm curious to see if he's gonna end up doing something in that sort of vein with Supergirl, right? Because like you said, she's gonna come back, cause trouble or whatever, and Kal-El is gonna have to, stomp her out or whatever. But this is supposed to take place after the Superman movie with James Gunn, right? Because I
Yep.
think they just announced that the villain, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think this is fake news here. But I think the villain for James Gunn's is Superman. It's going to be Ultraman, so it's like a clone that Lex Luthor creates of Superman. So it's just basically going to be two corn sweats going at it. You're muted.
Is that true? He's just gonna be fighting himself in the first movie.
Well, I mean, it's a clone of himself, so you would. I mean, they could change it up and make it look like he could look like.
I feel like it's got to be Lex.
He's gonna look like Lex Luthor, or I mean, what's his name? Not Lex Luthor. Nicholas Holt. Like he could look like him.
Yeah.
Because there is a character that is Superman and Lex Luthor combined, and that's Superboy, right? And he's a clone of both of them together.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's
he's a really cool character. He has a really cool shirt. I freaking love it. I used to have one. It's all black, and it's like, and then the logo's just red. The Superman logo's red. Watch, look up Superboy's. He looks dope.
Oh, I was trying to figure out who the villain was because I was.
Ultraman. Yeah. Let me see if I'll see if I can find it. I saw it on Twitter recently.
This one was like 3 days ago.
Yeah, here it is. This one is from.
This one says Brainiac.
Cinema Blend, and this one's from Screen Rant here. Says Superman, a James Gunn Superman movie will make a big change to a classic DC villain. And then it says it's rumored that classic DC villain besides Nicholas Hoult, however, a new rumor claims that Gunn is changing the iconic foe by combining two villains to create one. Superman plot details are limited, though Gunn has stated that it will follow David Cornsweet's Clark Kent as it tries to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. I guess there's another one that says that, but let me see. Scooper, can we get some toast? This is the one. Scooper, can we get some toast? Which is the guy that I was telling you was reliable. Reports that Superman will see Lex Luthor capable of creating a clone of the Man of Steel. While the plot elements is seemingly inspired by the similar Silver Age comic story in which Luthor creates an evil Superman clone named Bizarro, the character will reportedly be named Ultraman in Gunn's movie. Further details of Ultraman's role in the movie were not provided as of the writing. This is what we're getting from Game Rant. But yeah, it's from that guy. Can we get toast?
All right.
So he's like a pretty reliable guy, like for sources, like I said before. So I think, yeah, so they're either going to make that. So it's probably going to be him fighting himself.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I guess we've never seen it on screen before. I almost wish there was like a Bizarro. I really loved Bizarro in the cartoon.
Bizarro's sweet, but the way they make Bizarro is Bizarro. He's not very smart. He's got the worst traits of Superman.
I really thought it was gonna be Lex. I thought he was gonna be the main bad guy.
Mean,
but I guess he's just in the world.
He always is the main bad guy because he's controlling everything. He manipulates things around. Like that's what the thing about Batman versus Superman, right? His whole thing was who could take down Superman, and he's like he made it so that Batman could take him down with the kryptonite. That was the whole point of Lex Luthor. He's smart. He's
diabolical. He's always thinking. 3 steps ahead.
Where he lacks in broad strength, he makes up for with his intelligence, right? That's the whole point of, like, don't get me wrong, Superman's a smart guy, but I think Lex Luthor has a different level of intellect.
Dude, can I say I was watching Do you know the Smallville has like a podcast, right? It's like Talkville, and Lex.
Yeah.
Rosenbaum. I keep saying Lex, but Michael Rosenbaum had Kristen Cruick on, and I think Clark Kent's, what's his name? Who's the guy that plays Tom Welling? I think he's always on for these episodes, but they were reviewing some episode called Spell, in like the 4th season or 3rd season, and they brought in Kristen Cruick to talk about it, and dude, it just made me want to watch the show again. Like it's so good, bro.
Dude, I've been thinking about watching it recently. It's just funny that you say that. It's a great show. One of my favorites.
And it just like hearing them like talk about it. Oh, here it is. Like it was like the cheesiest. Like you would eat it up as a kid, right? As that age group, you're like, oh, dude, this is a great episode. Oh, here they go. Yeah, it was so much fun. It was so much fun, like a little nostalgia trip.
Dude, I freaking love this because it like every time I see anything about Smallville, it brings me back to like my first years of college, and I was just binge watching freaking Smallville while I waited.
Oh yeah, you said
I
you were
told
waiting.
You I have like an hour or two
yeah,
between classes or waiting for my wife or whatever, well, girlfriend at the time, and I'd be in the car with my really crappy like 2010 like MacBook. Do you remember that fat old MacBook?
Yeah,
dude, and so I would like, and I upgraded because back then on Macs you could upgrade your own the hard disk drive. Right, yourself, and I gave like a terabyte, so I would put a bunch of stuff there, and I remember the battery would die all crappy, but it was like, let's watch it for like an hour or something. Man, I still have that laptop.
Those are fun times, bro.
It was fun times, dude. When we had more to live for, Jason. I'm just joking. You see that? That's what I did there. I'm joking.
Okay, Ernie, I'm gonna shift gears a little bit because we're going from the fun times. I gotta get your take on this. This is like a thing I need.
Before
I
couldn't think of a Matrix. So good.
I mean, we skipped one, but did you should we talk about? No, let's talk about this one. So Matrix is gonna get another sequel. There's another sequel in development after the 4th one, which was what? Resurrections? I keep forgetting it. So Matrix 5, which I don't know if it's just called Matrix 5 or what they're going to call it. Matrix Regurgitations? I don't even know. It's in development, it's going to be directed by Drew Goddard. I have no idea what Drew Goddard, what did he do? Cabin in the Woods? Oh yeah. He directed Cabin in the Woods. This marks the first Matrix film that is not directed by the Wachowskis. So originally it was the Wachowski twins, right, that directed the trilogy, and then I think one Wachowski, Lana, I think directed the Resurrections. So the plot is currently under wraps. It's unknown if the original cast will be returning. I say, Keanu, stay away from it. Like I say, don't do it. I say, do a fresh start. If anything, like don't bring Carrie-Anne Moss back. I don't want. Like it's done. Like I feel like they messed it up with the last one. I would just stay away. But Drew Goddard, known for Cabin in the Woods, Bad Times, at the El Royale. Oh, that one wasn't too bad. And you liked Cabin in the Woods.
I did. I think Cabin in the Woods is a fantastic movie.
The film aims to honor the original series while offering a new perspective. So apparently, somebody, I don't remember who it was. It might have been Goddard himself. Oh yeah, on board to write and direct. So I think he came to the studio and was like, I have an idea. And they're like, okay, go forth and make this. I can't believe it must have been a really good idea because they're just like, go forth and make another one. It's already been declining in the box office. I don't feel like anybody liked the last one. I think it was a stinker, right? I think it might have lost money. But this, I don't know, bro. Like he expressed his admiration for the original Matrix series and was excited to contribute to the world. Like he had a lot of positive things to say. I want to know your thoughts, bro. Are you hopeful? Are you down? Are you like, no, like just move on? This franchise should be thrown in the vault for 30 years and then bring it back later. Like, what are your thoughts?
How much worse could it be? Is what I want to ask you first and foremost. Like,
it could be worse. Come on now.
Could it? Like, is it gonna ruin the other three? I don't think so. I mean, the fourth one
any more than the fourth one did.
Any more than the fourth one did. But again, like we don't talk about that one. Like recently, after hearing this news, Jason, I've been Well, I've been on this weird like kick of wanting to watch certain movies, but I want to rewatch the fourth one and put myself through that misery.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. I just I wanna
You're like,
watch
it's
it.
Easter. I'm
just,
thinking of the crucifixion. I want to,
Yeah, he risen and he
the...
rose on the third day, and I should watch The Matrix on the third day. No. Just something about the film makes me like, I don't know what it is, but it's just like I need to watch it again to give it another shot after all these years. Maybe there's something good about it. Maybe there's something I don't know. There. Exactly. It's like Star Wars, huh? It's like
Star Wars. Yeah, that's what I was thinking
like,
too.
It's just what it is. But there's this clip, and I sent it to you on Twitter, but it's basically they're talking about the Matrix 5, and it's like the guy who plays Agent Smith in the new one, and he's like, our partners at Warner Brothers want to make another sequel or something like that, and it's so funny because they're trying to be so meta. It's trying to be so meta, and they're doing it now. I mean, Drew, what's his name? Drew Goddard.
Yeah.
Goddard. Yeah. So
Goddard.
I know he's worked on I think he's worked on a bunch of stuff that's been pretty notable. You're talking about like Buffy the Vampire, Cloverfield, World War Z, Daredevil, stuff like that, which is really cool. So I kind of go ahead.
Oh, I didn't know. I was just thinking Cabin in the Woods and Bad Times at the El Royale, but I didn't know he did like episodes of Daredevil, or
I think he's worked on a few episodes or something. I can't get really into detail because I don't know exactly, but I know he's worked on a few of those things. I mean, he's expressed like this deep personal kind of admiration for the movies. But again, I mean, if the original creators of the movies didn't have that sort of respect for the fourth one, like, why would he come in and try to fix that? Like, I'm curious because I think they're still producing, or they're going to be part of the movie franchise. One of the Wachowskis, right, is coming to kind of produce or something like that. They're not going to like let them go free range, which I'm hoping that they kind of just let them kind of change up the story where it doesn't, stay with what's it called, Keanu Reeves' character. I hope it changes up and stuff. But I don't know. It's just, I'm wondering what they can do. I feel like they're just going to do a whole different story that's going to follow someone new. But like, to what extent is it just going to be a whole reboot? Like, I
mean, at this point they should.
No, but I mean, like, see, that's the thing about the Matrix, right? The movies themselves can always be rebooted, and not in terms of like, now we have Tom Holland as a Spider-Man, now we have Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire, not like that. I mean, in terms of like, the Matrix always resets, right? That's the story. At the end of Resurrections, it resets. Do you get what I mean?
But what they did in the fourth one,
that's what I'm saying. That we don't talk about that. Like like we don't want to talk about that.
Unless there's a, it's like the what is the movies with Knives Out, right? It's like the detective when he says there's a hole and then there's a donut inside of the hole, but if you look closely, there's another donut inside of the other. You know what I mean? Like, unless they do that, or it's like a world within another world. Like, I don't know how else they're gonna fix it, bro.
No, yeah, that's what I'm telling you. This is what I'm trying to say. Is I think that's what they could do. Is like they reboot it again, and it changes what happens, because that's the only way they could move forward. Because the Matrix is about.
It would get cheap though. It would lose its.
It's about Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves' characters. That's the whole point of these movies. From what I've gathered watching them so many times, right? They are the reason that this is happening. If they change those characters and they're like, well, this is the newest version of them, they're rebooted, they're younger, you know what I mean? Like, now we can focus on, going the story forward there. Or it's like, it's Carrie-Anne Moss and Keanu Reeves' son or daughter that's got to... there's a bunch of ways. I forget, dude. I honestly, Jace, I forgot how the fourth one ends.
You forgot? I'll tell you how it ends.
I don't even want you to bring it up. I think I erased it.
But okay, the thing is that should we just spoil? I feel like we should just spoil it.
Man, it's so I don't mind you doing it. Go for it.
Honestly, if you guys don't want us to spoil it, don't listen. But like.
Just listen.
The idea of the Matrix being a software program and like taking them out of the Matrix into another world. The only way that I think they could resolve it, and it would be dumb, right, is if Neo's actually secretly in another Matrix, right? Like if it's like they pull out again and like he has to take another pill and like that world that was building the Matrix is also in the Matrix. It's like
you're talking about an Inception, bro.
It's like another Inception of an Inception.
I think you're thinking what they can do, because essentially,
like if it was Free Guy. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. What?
I was gonna say, if it's Free Guy, it makes total sense, right? They just do a patch update, like there's a software update, and they fix the Matrix or whatever, right? Like there's a new version of the Matrix, like a 2.0 rolls out. That's doable. But because they threw it into the real world and said the Matrix isn't actually the Matrix, you're just in the
it's because you're talking about the Matrix 4 at this point.
Yeah,
like they do a patch and they go the new Matrix, right? Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, they don't look the same. They look different. If you remember, he looks like an old man, and he's like, he doesn't look like Keanu Reeves, like his Matrix version. But they don't show you that. Obviously, we see the way he normally looks. He doesn't look the same.
There's that little glitch in the mirror and whatever.
Yeah, they could essentially do the same thing. You know what I mean? That's the downfall of what they were trying to create. Like they could have not made the fourth one and done whatever this guy's gonna do and made it better, which is the reboot. I don't know how, because he doesn't say he's gonna make it like a story going forward, does he? I know he does something like that, right?
He says the film is aimed to honor the original series while offering a new perspective. So
see, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what
it probably won't have anything to do with the original Matrix then. Maybe it'll be a prequel and then like somehow the birth of the Matrix or something.
It could be like the beginning of the Matrix, like what we haven't seen.
Like the whole story that not Neo, but not Trinity. What can I think of the guy's name that gives him the pill? Morpheus. Like it could be the story that Morpheus tells Neo about how the Matrix came to be, but it's like
yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's like we don't know what started it, but we know we were the ones that struck the sun.
See, it's so good because you can quote it, bro. That's how good that movie is.
Yeah, but man, I haven't seen that movie in quite some time, man. It's a great movie. But man, see, that's the thing. They can go back and do that. Show us that they did why they scorched the sky or when they did.
Would you want a prequel? I wouldn't want a prequel.
I wouldn't want any of this. I want to just watch the other three. But I mean, if we're gonna get something, I'd rather them focus on a completely new story, something that is not from like the Wazowskis' mind. You know what I mean? Because it's produced by them, yeah. But like, I want a fresh take on the world. I know there's a lot of people who have like, you know, like fan creations of stories and like, you know, like. Yeah. People, you know, so there's like stories out there that people have cultivated based around this world. I want something like that. It doesn't have to be the end all world of the Matrix, as long as we have good characters, good protagonist, good antagonist, like a decent story. No, a really great story. I don't want a decent. I want a great story. I want a great story, and some, you know, and something that they need to fight for. You know what I mean? Something that is higher than whatever the characters are doing at the moment. Like, right, Keanu Reeves when he I keep calling him Keanu Reeves, but whatever. Keanu Reeves in the movie.
Neo,
right? When he first starts, it sort of feels like, okay, he's trying to be the one, but there isn't like, oh, you need to be this so we can... Like, because you need to save the world, right?
He was against it. He didn't think he was the one.
Exactly. It just, but it worked. It worked itself into it, right?
Right.
Like essentially, the third one was like, well, you got to save it, or you got to save her, and obviously he saves her. See, like we have to have something like that.
I agree with you. It needs to be. I was gonna say one of my friends in high school loved the Matrix, loved the first Matrix. I think most all of my friends loved the Matrix. Like we watched that thing so many times. He went out of his way after he saw the second and the third one. He had no desire to, like, he hated it. He just like, I'm not. This is not how it should have been. He went back. I think I helped him. We were like writing a script of like what it should have been.
Wow.
Like he had this great idea of what it should have been.
Which one, the Resurrections or the second one?
The second and third one. He didn't like the way the second and third one went about. He had an idea of where it was going to go, and he was all excited for it. And then when he saw them, he was really let down. So I remember we were talking about like he had really cool idea for like the second and third one. Imagine if this movie like comes in right after the first one and like changes stuff, because I've never seen a movie done this successfully. Like think about all these other franchises that have been kind of like ruined by like sequels, like they kind of undid things. Like The Matrix is a really like not bad, but it's a horrible example of like how it went wrong, right? Like this really ruined it because it went back and retroactively changed stuff that we loved about the first ones. Star Wars does that to an extent, right? Like the new Star Wars kind of messed a couple things up. I mean, say what you will. I didn't like it. I feel like I was telling you off the cast, Star Wars is dead. Like it's done. Like they can't revive it. But for The Matrix, imagine if he has an idea that somehow it gets inserted into the middle, right? Into the part like right before things get a little like crazy and something happens and shifts, like, because it's all about destiny and it's all about like, you know, the ripple effect, and like there's a lot of things that happen in the first movie that don't really get super explored. Like they kind of come back a little bit, but the way they come back is a little lackluster. But I don't know. It would be really interesting if he could find a way to insert it into the middle and like branch the timeline, right? Like kind of like branch it off. It's like if you really like love those trilogies, you could, but or you can go down this path. Like a choose your own adventure.
You kind of sound like you're you're making a multiverse.
Yeah, that's true.
Loki style, but
we take I mean, that's what we want from. That's kind of what we want for Marvel, right? Like we want them to switch timelines. Let's get back to the quality, but I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but
I mean,
right now I feel like it's really like kind of dead in the water. Like I'm not excited for it.
To go back to your original question.
Oh yes. Do you want this?
I'll still watch it. I'll still check it out, dude.
Why?
What? I'm like in an abusive relationship with most of my movies.
I feel like you are.
It's like
right
the
now.
Star Wars, right? Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
You're like
it's like they hit me, but they tell me they're like beating me, but they tell me I won't do it again. I won't hurt you again, but they continue to do it. You know what I mean? And
it's like you had a bunch of ice cream and you got a tummy ache. And you're like, oh, this is not good for me. But all there is ice cream to eat. All right, fine. Give me some more ice cream.
Just give me more ice cream. No, dude, yeah. Because I like the trailer for, man, guys, go back and watch the trailer for Matrix 4.
It's a good trailer.
It's a great trailer, dude. It's a great trailer. And it does not live up to it. It does not. Like they I don't know what they were trying to do. I honestly don't know what they were trying to do. You're muted, bro.
Like we were so excited for it, bro. Like I know me and you would watch that thing like what 5 or 6 times at least, and we're just like, dude, it's gonna be this. It's gonna be so cool. Like he's gonna be thinking he's in the real world and he's really still in the Matrix. It's gonna be great. And like, no, none of that.
And then the song, it's like one pill makes you whatever, dude. Hello, Alice, or whatever. But I don't know what the song is. But it was like, dude, yes, this is awesome.
And it was like intriguing. It didn't give away anything. Yeah, and I mean to its detriment, right? Like because we thought so many things could have happened.
And then like freaking Neil Patrick Harris comes out. He's awesome, and he goes, he tells Neo, or he tells him, "You seem particularly triggered today." He tells him like this sweet line, and I'm like, dude.
You're like, this is
what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? And then they go, they do this to you, like when you're watching it, like with your eyes open like this, you're like really into it, and then eyes wide open, and then they go, and both
like,
your eyes, oh my eyes,
oh my eyes, I can't see, I can't go back.
Scoutmaster Kevin, you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh.
Oh man. Okay, let's end it on a. Should we go to a positive? Let's go to a positive note, bro. I feel like
I'm already angry.
Needs to be done. You're like, I'm already done.
I want to go, dude.
Alan Richardson, Alan Richardson, that we love from
Aquaman in Smallville.
Aquaman, Fast and
Freaking
Furious,
Jack Reacher, Fast and the Furious.
Jack Reacher. Reacher is the biggest thing, right? That he's known for right now.
Right now, yeah. And the Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, the Ninja Turtles. So apparently, he expressed a strong desire to play Batman, highly intelligent Batman. He said, he said highlighting the intelligence as Batman would be the greatest superpower. This is kind of one of those. What was like a video of like an interview of like walking through his bucket list, right?
Yeah. I like what he says. He said, "I'll shot it from the rooftops. I want to be Bruce Wayne." Right? Who doesn't want to be Batman, dude?
I mean, he's played superheroes, like you said. He was Aquaman in Smallville. I think he auditioned for Thor, and then Chris Hemsworth. All of it. He's going to be in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare coming up and for Prime, and also for he's in Reacher. But do you see him as a Batman? Like, what do you think? Could he be Batman? I know you got your Pattinson.
I do. I like Pattinson. I do. I like him a lot. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can. I mean, he does a great job in Reacher, and I could see like the dark, broody sort of Batman in that when he's that character. But I don't know. Like, I haven't seen him in enough roles to see him like be the Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne is such a different character from Batman, right? I know we know they're the same person, but they're two completely different roles, right? Like I said, like he does a great Batman already from Reacher, but how is his Bruce Wayne? You know what I mean? True. And that's the difference. It's like that people don't really think of. It's like everyone has a difference. Like I think Ben Affleck did a great Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? Like,
I think he could do it, bro. I think. Well, I mean, I agree with you. Like, we haven't seen a lot of him. He's been in a lot of stuff, but I think he's kind of grown in popularity from Reacher and like seeing him on these different movies. He's gotten a little bit more prominence, and obviously, this is his bucket list, right? Like, this is him like saying, I'd really love to do this. Why not? Like, I think he could pull it off. I think you're right. He would be a stronger Batman, right? He'd be a stronger Batman than a Bruce Wayne, but I think he could pull off a Bruce Wayne. I feel like, dude, the Bruce Wayne in the comics, like the cartoon animated series, he's a big guy too. Like when they put him in a tuxedo and he's going to the parties and stuff, it's like he's Batman. Come on, guys, look how big this guy is. Like in the cartoon, he was huge. So like I feel like he would fit that profile. I mean, I know he's just a big guy in general, and it's either him or Henry Cavill now when we want like a big action hero. Yeah. But. I mean, I think he could pull it off.
You know what I've always wanted them to pull off on live action is I don't know if you ever recall this episode. It's where Batman and Superman switch. So because they look very similar in the cartoon and the animated, right? The Adventures of Superman and the Batman Adventures, I think it's called. But Superman dresses up as Batman, and I forget who tries to punch him. I think it might be Clayface or something like that tries to hit him. I forget who it is, but they basically like Robin is like, what the heck? Like, how can he take that or something like that? It's because it's Superman. And I've always wanted them to.
That'd be sweet, dude.
Yeah, like it's really silly, right? But in the cartoon, it's so freaking cool.
Yeah. It's like wish fulfillment, right? When you're watching that episode.
Yeah.
You're like, that's sweet.
It's what I want. What I want from my Batman, from my Superman, is like the cartoons. Like that's what I want. Is that those moments? Because obviously, well, most of us became fans because of comics or either the cartoons. For me, it was the cartoons. I didn't really buy a lot of the comics except like Death of Superman, really expensive at the time.
But I think like if you think about the Batman that we got with Robert Pattinson, right? It's such a certain tone that's like darker, more serious, more detective, right? I think it fits really well, but James Gunn has such a light flavor to his movies. Like it's dark. It can get very dark and gritty, but it has such like it always does like we were watching Godzilla X Kong, and there's a moment where they start playing a song, and it's like that's James Gunn. Like my wife leaned over to me, like they're trying to be like James Gunn, and he has that signature about him, right? You play one of those awesome songs, and it gets you like in the mood of like a hooked on a feel. Like that's James Gunn. Like that's his style. I don't want it to be that jokey, but I think he's gonna have a lighter tone for his DCU, and I feel like Alan Richardson is that lighter flavor that we don't get with Robert Pattinson. Like Robert Pattinson is great, but he has a different tone to him.
But
so I feel
but has Batman been that light? Like I don't like from
no, but Bruce
Batman,
Wayne is right. Bruce Wayne's always cracking jokes,
but not even him, right? Like even like I mean, yeah, you're right. Like I think Christian Bale did it right when he bought the
Christian
restaurant.
Bale does it. Yeah.
He does it pretty well, but it's just we don't normally get it like that.
That's true, but it would be more comic, right? It would be more comic book if he did it like that.
Yeah.
I was curious to see what people say.
I like that one. That theory of Thomas Wayne go up. They go up. This one right here. Thomas Wayne. Do you know who Thomas Wayne is? Yeah.
Oh, is that the son?
No,
that's the dad. Oh, this is when the dad becomes Batman.
The dad becomes Batman, and the son and the white. Actually, I don't know. In the one that I've seen, he becomes Batman. The son ends up dying, but the wife lives, and the wife becomes Joker.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a crazy.
I think something like that.
He's built like comic Batman. His acting in Reacher shows he's capable. Hollywood told him the same thing. I think he'd be a pretty good Batman. Definitely. Oh, so I mean, he's too big. Athens says he's. I
like
big.
this. He's on. I think he could play Aquaman. Oh wait.
He already did. I mean, so this person is like definitely no. Widowmaker definitely no. If he's out there saying it, he's not going to be Batman. Oh, that's true, right? Like if you're asking for it, it's kind of like who is it that wanted to be Bond? He's not going to be Bond. Unless he knows something. But like I feel like he could do it. I feel like I'm excited to see what happens in this movie cuz this one we get the bros together. Anyway, look, there is a bigger picture. The only other bit of news that we didn't talk about, Ernie, and I don't know if you want to talk about it, was the Fantastic Four news. Should we get into it or should we?
Yeah, please get into it.
Let me pull it up right here. So, if it will load, apologies. That's what happens when you do live. Okay, so we have a new villain for the Fantastic Four movie, and it's going to be the Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner. And you might know Julia Garner from my favorite show. Well, not one of my shows that I recommended to Ernie, and he's like, nah. Ozark. She's been multiple award-winning roles actually. Like she was also in Blumhouse's. She's joined the cast of Wolfman with Blumhouse. But yeah, it's gonna be a different Silver Surfer than we got in the second Fantastic Four in 2003. I don't even know when it was. So yeah, so this time we're getting a female version. So the film will include Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Eben Moss Bachman, and Joseph Quinn. Garner's Silver Surfer might be inspired by Shala Bal, a female character from the comics, and love interest to Norrin Rad, who became the Silver Surfer. Norrin Rad became the Silver Surfer. Casting hints at the potential plot involving Galactus. So that's what we got so far. I don't know. What do you think about casting Julia in this role?
I mean, I don't know her personally. I think friend of the cast Lex was pretty adamant about her. He was saying that to get the right person for the role, and apparently he believes that she is the right person for the role. I know you were talking about Ozark and how well she did on the show. I've only seen clips of her where she's like, "You're gonna have to kill me."
Or she's screaming,
and it's really intense, and she's probably awesome in that too. And I haven't seen it, but I mean, it's a gender swap, right? I mean, I think they did it in the comics in like 2010s. I was reading into it, and they were saying that in 2010, I think that's when they switched her to be the female version of Silver Surfer. I have no problem with the switch. I'm not like a big Silver Surfer fan. I'm wondering of people of the comics if they are really perturbed by what has just been, casted. Like, it doesn't bother me, but I mean, I just didn't want her to be Sue Storm. For whatever reason, I really thought that that's what I had read. And I'm like, what about that other girl that they had chosen? What happened to her? I was thinking in my head. And obviously she's still Sue Storm. I forget her name at the top of my head.
You're talking about Vanessa Kirby? That's
yeah.
Sue Storm, yeah. I thought Anya Taylor-Joy at one point was connected to it to play Silver Surfer.
Interesting. I didn't hear about that.
But yeah, here's the thing. Julia Garner is a good actress. I wish her all the best. I want her to be successful. I want her to get great roles. I think she's a good actress. I don't think this helps her very much. She's going to be Silver, right? Like, she's not going to be able to perform as well. I mean, the last Silver Surfer was all computer generated, right? Like, there was you didn't know who the actor was. But the thing I think you brought it up is a good point, right? The comics did this and it didn't do well. And the thing that I've been hearing from comic book fans is that Marvel Films is headed down the same road as Marvel Comics, right? The comics did this whole thing where they brought in a bunch of, I mean, it's the wokeness again. Like, I don't want to talk about it, but like, they did the gender swaps. What Wolkenstein? They did the gender swaps. They did a lot of the inserting the DEI, and it just, like, comics are dying. Like, there's not a lot of interest in comics anymore. Like, you get a lot of anime people are really into their anime comics. They go buy their One Pieces. Yeah. Like, you don't hear that with Marvel comics. It's like, what do I go buy? Like, there's no like really awesome storylines that people are following, and you don't hear a lot of chatter on the line. And so people are saying, like, if you look at the comics, this is a telling sign of what's going to happen with Marvel, because Marvel is going down the same path. And I mean, like, there's nothing against Julia Garner at all. Like, I feel like it's great. She's getting cast in a big role, and that's good. But I think it's not going to help her career at all. I don't think. I think, like, she could have, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to show. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Do you really think that, well, I mean, obviously, proof is in the pudding. People don't like Marvel as much as they did. And, I think people claiming that there is, a woke narrative and trying to, gender swap and all that. Do you really think it makes a difference in the overall movie script? Like, had this been a guy, do you think that, like, because I know she's a great actor, right?
Yeah. Well,
and if we get another great guy actor, do you think because she's a woman playing this character, do you think it's gonna make the movie worse? I get the wokeness, I get all that stuff. It makes sense. Like, like they're gender swapping. Like, I get that. Like, I understand. Like, why don't they give her a role that was already a comic character for a woman? Like, I get that. But also, like, if she does a fantastic job because she's a great actor, like, just like Lex has stated, like, she's right for the part. Like, right. Will this movie do well, or is it because, no, she's a female Silver Surfer, I'm not watching this? Like,
no, I don't think it has anything to do. I mean? It doesn't have anything to do with the fact that she's female, right? I think it goes back to what you're saying about the magical society, right? It had good elements, but because they were so focused on pushing the message, you felt it ruined the movie, right? She's going to act the heck out of Silver Surfer. I can guarantee you. She's going to do a great job with whatever she's given. But if that script sucks,
but that's what she's given.
Right. If all that she's given is crap, like, it's going to be crap, right? And
man, that sucks.
That's what I'm worried about. Yeah.
No, man, I'm glad that you said this, because, it's, see, like, there's so many articles that I get, like, woke MCU strikes again, internet slams Julia Garner. Like, again, it's not, like, I don't dislike her. I don't think that anyone should get that. It's good. A job, right? Like, could you imagine if they hired you to be whatever they have, but they're like, I don't like Jason because he wears glasses. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks because, like, you don't know if you're right for the job or not. But, like, again, like, because that's the thing is, like, because Marvel has done this to the extent that there is no redemption for them, everyone who comes into the limelight of a gender swapped role is going to get the freaking backlash of all these people, because they, like you stated before, like they're seeing all these movies do bad, but they continue on this sort of down this like sort of hill of like degradation in a way in their content. And I think Bob Iger was saying, people say woke too much. I don't even think they even know what it means or whatever. He had just said that in an interview or something recently, and I'm like,
oh yeah, you sent it in the comments, right? Or in the chat that he admitted to an extent, right? That the wokeness or whatever had a toll. I think that's what you sent. It was a while ago. Yeah, it says Bob Iger did seemingly acknowledge that the critics of the Disney's content being woke may have a certain degree of merit, though he added the term woke is thrown around rather liberally. I think a lot of people don't even understand really what it means. I agree. I feel like a lot of people don't understand what it means either. My wife's always like, what is this? Like, why do you keep talking about this? And I don't think there's anything wrong with inclusivity and adding more people of color and telling more stories that are, from different perspectives. I think that's all great. I think it's when you do it to the detriment of telling a good story, that's when we get mad, right? It's like, are you going to give me a good Silver Surfer movie, or are you going to give me check in another box so that you can check off your quota? Or, you know what I mean? Like, that's why they keep doing this, is because they're just trying to check off the boxes of inclusivity, and it's not focused on the story. And that's why people have Marvel fatigue, because it's not hit after hit like it used to be. It was focused on telling great stories. Now it's shifted its perspective, I think.
No, I agree with you. I think again, like we said, proof is in the pudding, and I always say this, and
the pudding is rotten.
And the pudding is rotten. It's not very tasty, but like obviously people are voting with their wallet, and it's not making as much money as it used to. And there's a lot of variables to it. It could be because people don't make as much money, or people are not wanting to see these kinds of movies anymore. People want to see, but then you get like hits like Oppenheimer, Barbie, and it's like, well, no, the theaters are thriving. It's just like not your content. Like Marvels did bad, the Miss Marvels, right? And I mean, that's a character that could have been awesome, but because they focused on a particular narrative, as you stated before, it kind of it to its own detriment, it didn't work. And I think that's what we were talking with friend of the cast Lex when we were chatting about it. We're like, well, she's, why do we want to see this girl as this character? And it's not because she's not right for the job. It's like, are they going to write a good story for her, right? That's what you were trying to say, right?
Yeah, basically.
I just didn't want her to be Sue Storm.
Yeah. Well, she's not Sue Storm, so you're good there.
So I'm good. I'm fine. Whatever she ends up doing, I'm curious to see how she ends up playing that role. I did see Ozark. I saw the first episode. I told you I saw it.
Oh, and you're
I gave it a chance. It was just too depressing. It was just like I couldn't. It just that's not the problem with me, but I think like maybe most people is like, depending on my mood and how I'm feeling for the day or that particular time of watching whatever. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. Like I really want to watch Abbott Elementary. Front of the cast Lex loves that show, and he's like speaks highly on it. Well, yeah, see, and I want to watch it. And I watched like the first episode, but I couldn't get into it because I just wasn't feeling that. Dang. You know what I mean? It's funny because what I ended up watching because I wasn't feeling that. I ended up watching Avatar, The Last Airbender, the live action Netflix show.
Oh yeah.
But I want to go back. I want to check it out. I recently, because I've been in the mood of watching those things. I don't know if it was my wife or I, but we put on Parks and Recreation, and oh my gosh, what a phenomenal show! It's so awesome, it's so hilarious. We're dying.
But see, Parks, I would equate Abbott Elementary to Parks and Recreation.
That's what I'm saying. So like that's why I brought it up, because I'm like because I've watched that, I'm like maybe I should check it out because it's similar to that.
Yeah, it gets better. I think it gets better in the later episodes. Like like any show, it takes a while to start up. I was watching the Office. Have you seen they released like new footage of like the Office what's it called? The auditions and like the different people that were auditioning for the different parts of Michael and like Dwight and all them, and it's like, dude, like
It could have been such a different
casting.
show if
Yeah, it would have been such a different show too.
Well, I mean, the person who was the cast was the lady who plays Phyllis, right? Or what's her name? She's the casting person, the one that plays the one that has the glasses. She ends up dating the refrigerator guy.
Yeah, I didn't know that she was the
casting. Yeah, but she ended up casting herself or something like that. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong, but quote me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen. But
Dwight though is like, he will always be Dwight. Dwight is like, I don't know. He was perfect casting, I think.
I mean, yeah, going back to you, like you said, the perfect casting. I think them working off themselves, right? Like the what's his name? My gosh, not the main character, but not Michael Scott, but the other guy, the guy that always messes with Dwight. Why can't I think of his name?
Jim.
Jim, thank you. Asian Jim or Asian Jim, but
yeah. And they brought it back with Deadpool. Did you see that?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. No, so with Jim and Dwight, like the characters, they played off each other so well, and that's perfect casting. I think when you can see it visibly on screen how well they work off each other, I think that's like gold. It's hard to find something like that, right? Like,
yeah, it was really good. And all the little pranks, dude. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I haven't given the British version its fair shake. Like, I still kind of want to go back and watch the British version and see. I'm gonna keep comparing it to the American version. I think the British, they say, is the superior version if you're in the English territories. But yeah, man. I mean, again, going back to Silver Surfer, I hope it's a good script, right? They have all the pieces ready. It has every right to be a good movie. I hope it's a good movie. I think everyone's rooting for Marvel to come back and be good again. I think everyone has such fondness for Marvel. I think it's just this phase has been so terrible. So we're all rooting for it, right? Like, we're all like, give us a good movie, I think.
I mean, I like we always say this because it's very true. Like, we don't get nothing from something doing bad. We're not here for clickbaits. Like, you know how most YouTubers will be like I think someone had tweeted once this girl had become or was chosen for Silver Surfer, they're like, watch out for those dudes that make stupid thumbnails and stupid captions for these things, and then the thread is those people. Again, they make great videos and they make great points. You got to watch them, but like it was funny because someone had already anticipated people doing that, and it's because it's clickbait, right? Like, we could do that too. Like, we could start posting like, we really hated this, and then people like there's a fan base for hatred for certain IP because they're done with.
And there's something like
Marvel with Star Wars.
Like cathartic, right? Of like watching somebody just rant about why it was so bad.
Yeah, being angry about it. But like, what I really want is freaking this to do well. I'd rather have always great content and not crappy stuff. Like, why would I want crappy stuff to get mad about?
Yeah, exactly. We're here with money in hand. Just give us a good movie. I love this.
You know, like the freaking Fry from Futurama meme where he's like, "Take my money."
But yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, take my money. That's usually once you've solidified that this is going to be awesome, right? Like, it's like, just take my money.
Yeah, dude. I just read. I think the last Marvel thing that dude, this is crazy. I forgot to tell you. I didn't even like Echo, and I watched it, and it was a burden to me.
Right. It was a slog,
man. But sorry, I just want to say that. Go ahead.
No, I just saw this on Twitter. I thought it was
funny. Oh yeah, I saw this. I thought I was gonna be. Dude, like,
I thought it was gonna be me. Dude, he's a great actor too. Like,
I like him a lot, bro. I want to see him in more stuff. I want to see that Jesus Christ movie he did.
Oh yeah, true.
I didn't get to watch it.
He's since deleted his Instagram post.
What did he post?
I don't know. I think he was
saying this because of the,
oh man. All right, guys, we've come to the end of the cast. Let's zoom in on our faces so we can see real clearly. But guys, I appreciate you guys sticking around. Everyone who is listening live, everybody who's joined us this week. If you guys, I hope you guys are having a good week. Ernie, you want to close us out with any closing thoughts?
No, as always, I would like to thank the audience for tuning in every week when we drop an episode. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, we drop an episode on the Watch Closely podcast. You can find us on Spotify, Google, all kinds of podcast services around the world. And we drop an episode every Sunday. If you want to watch our live stream, we do our live stream every Thursday. The times vary. It's either from 9 to 10.
Somewhere
it's
around
between there. Somewhere between there.
We'll start tweeting it out.
Do you remember? Yeah, we should. You remember in Spider-Man? I think it's Homecoming. I want to say might have been No Way Home. I don't remember. But he's talking to Tom Holland, and he's all there's me and you. And he's like, there's a gray area, and that's where you operate. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Tony Stark tells us something like that.
And that's where you operate.
That's where you operate. But it's funny.
Sure.
But yeah, Jason, please send us home.
If you guys stuck around to the end, you guys know you are the true fans. We appreciate you. We hope you guys have a great week. Thank you guys for joining us. And I was gonna say, if you have any thoughts on any of the topics we shared, definitely tweet at us at Watch Closely Pod. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and we can talk The Last Airbender. We can talk whatever you guys want to talk about. But that is the end of our show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Ernie, for joining me.
Thank you for having
You guys have a great week.
Thank you for joining me.
Hey, thank you for joining me.